Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Wintertime has arrived. That does not bother Tony Siragusa. He caught up with Andy Dalton just a few moments ago.
If today was a playoff game, would you be out there today?
I mean, as of right now, no. I couldn't be out there yet. And so it's just, I'm waiting to hear what the doctors have to say, waiting to get the cast off, and we'll kind of go from there.
So, you get the cast off on Monday, they were saying, and when the cast comes off, hoping that maybe Denver gives you guys a little bit of help and get the bye week next week, and you guys win today. But if that doesn't happen, what do you think? Next week might be a situation, or you really don't know right now?
It's one of those things. I'm just playing the waiting game. I'm going to see what the doctors have to say. I'm hoping that I can get the cast off tomorrow, but I'm still waiting to hear what he has to say. And I'm going to do whatever's smart, whatever is best for this thing. And so I'm going to try to get back as soon as I can.
Well, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, thank you very much.
All right, back to you guys.
Tony, thank you very much. These two guys have gone at it for a long time inside the AFC North. Marvin Lewis in his 13th year with the Bengals. John Harbaugh in his 8th season as head coach of the Ravens. Baltimore won the toss, deferred to getting the football to the second half, and the kick handled by Brandon Tate, and out to the 20-yard line. It'll be for the first-year quarterback. Sat out all of last year following a college injury at Alabama. A.J. McCarron getting his third start since Andy Dalton went down. He won a game in San Francisco, played well, especially in the first half, in the overtime loss at Denver last Monday night.
And Hugh Jackson, the offensive coordinator, and Marvin Lewis, head coach, they never coddled him. They didn't totally reduce the playbook. But today, they need to make it full, and he needs to play and be the starter of this team.
They're going to come out throwing. They were looking for A.J. Green, but played very well defensively by the Ravens. And it's a gain of a yard, maybe two on first down. Hugh Jackson, the offensive coordinator, rumored to be perhaps a head coach somewhere in the NFL next year. Tyler Eifert has missed the last two games, Charles. He's back today.
And they talked about, the question was, will he be on a pitch count or not? Number of plays. Talked with Jonathan Hayes, the tight ends coach, before the game. He said, I expect him to play full out. Hugh Jackson, the offensive coordinator, I'll be looking out for him today. So I think he may try and limit some of his action.
It's Eifert in motion, and McCarron dumps it off to Eifert. And a significant gain, his first catch. He's only played a total now of 10 snaps over the last 4 games. He led the NFL in touchdown receptions prior to a pair of injuries. A gain of 11. The Ravens have gotten better as this season has gone on defense.
One of the things they've never done is give up on the season. C.J. Mosley in the middle. Pro Bowl last year, not back. Darryl Smith is also a linebacker, a tackling machine, but the shakeups in the secondary. Ladarius Webb will play more safety than corner where he normally occupies.
Man, Whit.
Marvin Jones in motion and blown dead before it ever got started.
False start, number 44, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That is Jake Fisher. He was a second-round draft pick as an offensive tackle. They very much like his future. But right now, due to the injury to Ryan Hewitt, they have him playing the H-back position. They changed his number to 44.
He was a high school tight end before he went to Oregon and became a very athletic and mobile tackle. So he won't be able to do everything that Ryan Hewitt can do from the H-back position, but he can do enough things to be a lead blocker, an extra big body on the field, and that's exactly what they have right now. They've gone with their heavy set.
Jeremy Hill takes a handoff and finds a hole. And Strong running up to the 38-yard line. He got a big chunk of that back. Kevin Zeitler, the right guard, leading the way.
So watch Zeitler coming around here to block. Look at the big guys at the point of attack. That's Fisher, 44, Whitworth, 77. Look at that. Look at that chunk right there. He's following too. And then Oboye, number 70, also works his way up to become a lead blocker. Hewitt's not there. He's normally the fullback that leads. They'll do it differently now, using Oboye, number 70, Fisher, number 44, as well as that big, massive offensive line.
McCarron out of the shotgun, and he'll dump it off and throw it a little too hard. right at Jeremy Hill. That would have been an easy conversion to pick up the first down. Instead, it's third down coming up.
That one looked like it went right through the wickets of him. I know it looked a little bit behind him, had some heat on it, but that's one that could have easily been caught as well. And Jeremy Hill just didn't move his body enough to position himself and catch the football.
Andy Dalton was having such a spectacular year. He is the leader in passer rating in the AFC, third in the NFL behind only Carson Palmer and Russell Wilson, but broke his thumb in the loss to the Steelers. And it's incomplete, so the Bengals, after the penalty, had a 2nd and 5, and they failed there, and they fail on 3rd and 5. The Bengals will punt it away.
And I talked to Dean Pease, the defense coordinator of Baltimore, before the game, and he said it's all about making sure we don't let number 18 hurt us, A.J. Green. And on that pass, a lot of white jerseys were surrounding him. They wanted to make sure he didn't make a play on the football.
Well, the first meeting between these two teams in week 3, and what a great game that was when the Ravens had most of their team healthy. Green had 10 receptions for 227 yards. Kalen Clay from the 15 and dropped 2 yards later. Outstanding coverage by the special team stand-down to the Bengals, Cedric Pearman. So Ryan Mallett makes his 2nd start as a Raven when we come back. Ryan Mallett, 27 years old, out of Texarkana, Texas, threw for a career-high 274 yards. His first start as a Raven in the stunning win for Baltimore over the Steelers last weekend. And the Steelers now need to win and get some help from the Buffalo Bills to try and get into the playoffs. Mark Trestman is the offensive coordinator. We mentioned Kamar Aiken. What a pleasant find he's turned out to be.
He's actually taken over the role of being a #1 receiver, and his numbers continue to jump week after week. 8 straight games with 5 or more catches.
Mark Allen off to the left side and is stopped about 2 yards short of the first down by Vontez Perfect. The Bengals, led by their coordinator Paul Guenther, who of course replaced Mike Zimmer, the #1 scoring defense in the NFL.
And that's all they care about. If you ask Paul Guenther about what stats mean anything to him, he said there's only one. It's scoring defense, because that's the bottom line. I don't care about yards and the rest of it. How many points did we give up in a game? That's all that matters.
Ravens have really struggled on 3rd and short this year. They fake the run and they get the reception and a first down up to the 41-yard line. The rookie tight end out of Minnesota, Max Williams.
Allen did a nice job of threading that ball right there.
He did. And Tony, what's impressed me the most about him so far is how accurate he's been in putting the ball in good places for receivers. And these are guys he's not very familiar with. Good catch by Williams.
He's the only surviving tight end. And of course, they've had so many injuries on this Ravens team. 20 players on the injured reserve to the tune of some $22 million. They had all the heartbreaking losses early in the year. But, you know, Tony and Charles, this team has still stayed together, very much behind their head coach, who's done a great job since coming to Baltimore in 2008.
How about Marshall Yonda last week making a speech to John Harbaugh in front of the team and thanking him for being who he's been this year and keeping this team together.
Yeah, when you speak to all the players, it doesn't feel like they only won 5 games this year.
Losing his footing after making the reception is Allen. He's dropped back at the 42-yard line. It brings up 3rd down and 9 for the Ravens.
And didn't he almost treat that as if it were a college play? Because he caught the ball and never really made an effort to get up and make another move. That's why Perfect tackled him, because in the NFL, no one touches. You can get up and go. In college, you're down and the play's over. He's a rookie.
And they spotted the ball to 44, so it's 3rd and 7, not 3rd and 9. Pump fake, and down goes Mallett. The dynamic duo, the leading sack tandem on any team in the NFL, converging there. Geno Atkins and Carlos Dunlap.
Watch this, coming right into the teeth of him. Whammo! Geno Atkins gets there. The son of Gene Atkins, a former defensive back in the NFL, who at one point in his career played for our own Jimmy Johnson with the Miami Dolphins. Coach Johnson said, Gene Atkins, one tough hombre, just like his son Geno.
Well, it's been an amazing comeback year for Atkins. He had that devastating knee injury 2 years ago. Was not nearly the same player last season. Short punt and out of bounds. And the Bengals, let's see where they're going to spot this ball. Bengals are going to get very good field position. Wow, apparently it stayed inbounds all the way inside the 20, so not a bad punt after all.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Second offensive possession for the Bengals. Scoreless game in the opening quarter. Out of the Wildcat, that is Mohamed Sanu. That did not fool the Ravens. That was a tricky punt down there. It looked like it was a terrible punt, but watch it bounce down the sideline.
And this is Sam Cook. Now, he is the Pro Bowl, one of the 2 Pro Bowl punters this year. He just missed that one. That went off the side of his foot, and I thought it was going to angle out of bounds immediately. And look at it, just hug the line and stay in and get that extra yardage for the Baltimore Ravens.
Better be lucky than good sometimes, guys.
No doubt.
Believe that. That's why Cook's on his way to the Pro Bowl. They do the Wildcat formation again, and Sanu has a first down. That'll be a gain of 10 up to the 29-yard line. And we check in with Mike Hill back in Los Angeles.
Guys, Giants and Eagles could be Tom Coughlin's last game. You know, Chip Kelly got fired, and maybe it's just what DeMarco Murray needed to get going. 54-yard touchdown run, his longest run of the season. Hey, Charles, you think he's a little happy that Chip's gone? 7-0 Eagles in the first.
Oh, Mike, he's not going to say that. He's just going to run like it.
McCarron on first down, great protection, and throws a strike up to the 35-yard line to the tight end, Eifert. Well, Charles, you saw A.J. McCarron plenty in college. You saw him during the combine leading up to the NFL draft. I mean, his collegiate career as good as any quarterback in recent memory. Only lost 4 times his entire college career. Won a pair of national titles at Alabama. That's another first down. And he told you on Friday that he has been preparing for this very day going back a long, long time.
Listen, he's been preparing for it probably since he came out of mama. All right, I mean, this kid wanted to be a football player. But last summer, he took the game plan of every game they played last year, worked with his personal quarterback coach, David Morris, and went through every play and went through each progression, how it was run, what reads he should make, the whole deal. Did the best job he could trying to simulate being a pro quarterback before he ever actually hit the field this year.
Cincinnati coming out with a little gadget play in the lineup, and he just shifted back to a regular set.
See a lot of that from Hugh Jackson, their offensive coordinator. And here's a guy that, for whatever reason, it just has never kicked into gear this year for the second year back, Jeremy Hill, as it did a year ago when he carried for over 1,100 yards. Over 900 those in the final 7.5 games of the year. Why has it not been the same?
I don't know that anyone has an answer to that. Hugh Jackson, Marvin Lewis, they've spent extra time with him, talking to him about being that guy last year, breaking tackles. He's just not the same guy overall because the offensive line is. The offensive line's the same people, and they're pretty darn good.
Again, that was a fastball. Not sure who the intended receiver was there. It looked like Sanu, but there was another receiver about 8 yards behind him.
I think it was for Sanu, but boy, he really cut it loose on this one. Watch the receiver come across the field and kind of set up in the middle there. There's Sanu 12. That thing had a little extra mustard on it. A.J. McCarron maybe a little extra jacked up as we get started here today.
McCarron pretty nimble on his feet. Penalty flag down. He has a first down and dives down to the 41-yard line. But again, a penalty behind the line of scrimmage. This might come back.
Number 77 offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay third down.
That's a Pro Bowl left tackle Andrew Whitworth.
And you see right here, this is Whitworth here, and the call came from back here with the referee. And a lot of times you're like, well, he's on the opposite side. Well, he and the umpire kind of look diagonally across each other. And you see Whitworth with a full takedown right there. So they had the right call. So they kind of look, whatever side the official's on, he's kind of looking at the line opposite him for a better view. So it's almost a diagonal cross look for the two of them. Because a lot of fans say, hold a second, he wasn't even on that side of the foot. That's why he can see it that way.
Makes it a little harder for those offensive linemen, too, with now having the umpire behind the offense. You got 4 eyes watching them.
First carry for Giovanni Bernard on 3rd and a ton. He's up to the 39, but again, the Bengals will punt, so a very good start defensively for the Ravens.
And Tony, the Ravens, first 2 defensive series, they're accomplishing what they want to, playing free and easy today with nothing on the line.
Well, the Bengals are throwing everything low, short, little screens, really not stretching the field yet, so you're going to get those safeties coming up. You get extra guys in the box. A lot of help in there. They got to, at some point, go and try and stretch this field with A.J.
Cincinnati native Kevin Huber puts a left foot on him. And across the 20, dodging 1 tackle, but only a couple of yards later dragged down is Clay. We're in the Queen City, home to the Big O, Oscar Robertson. No score in the opening quarter from Paul Brown Stadium. Well, make no mistake about it, this is a big one for the Bengals, as was Monday night, of course, in that overtime loss out in Denver. Bengals win. Denver loses later today against San Diego. Bengals get a first-round bye. They can also get one with a Denver loss, as that's incomplete on first down, and a Kansas City win today. But, of course, the Bengals would love to just take care of business, make it a 12-4 year, and whatever happens after that is what happens.
No doubt about it. I was talking with a Bengals assistant coach in pregame. You know, the game that they really point to, but they won't bring up for anyone outside, is the Houston game here. I believe it was a Sunday night or a Monday night game.
I was here that night.
Yeah. And then, Tony, that's the game that haunts them because they wouldn't have to worry about it if they'd won that game.
Good strong running by Javorius Buck Allen, the rookie out of USC. I beg your pardon. That's the first carry for Terrence West, and Vincent Ray up to make the tackle. Ray is getting a start today for Ray Maualuga. Ray is the Bengals' leading tackler despite in and out playing time, sharing time with Maualuga. So now a 3rd down for Baltimore.
Remember, he jumped in because Burfict wasn't really ready to go at the beginning of the season, and Maualuga's been in and out of the lineup throughout.
Five-man rush, and left open in the middle of the field is Jeremy Butler, and that's a first down to the 40-yard line. Mike Hill's going to be a busy man today in L.A. Let's send it back. Michael?
Indeed, Steelers coming off that loss against Baltimore last week need a win today, and the Jets lost to get into the playoffs. Ben Roethlisberger to Keith Miller for the score. 7-0 Steelers, and it's scoreless right now between Buffalo and the Jets in Buffalo. Charles, back to you.
Well, we'll keep an eye on all the games. We'll keep you up to date on what's happening here on Fox. Thrown behind the receiver too far. If it's thrown another yard or two, that's a back shoulder catch right there for Gibbons. Instead, it's incomplete.
Tony, what I'm seeing with Baltimore right now, throwing the ball with Ryan Mallett, they're coming with heavy sets, bringing in James Hurst as an extra offensive tackle, and making sure they're mass protecting, and then trying to throw the ball for Ryan Mallett to give him more time. Remember, he hasn't been here very long, so they're upping their protection to give him a chance to throw it.
Yeah, throwing 2- and 3-man routes. I like how they're stretching the field. Guys are going downfield. You get that secondary, put a little doubt in their mind that they got to cover on the backside.
2nd down and 10. Allen no running room this time. Wrapped up by Dunlap. Hard to believe that Carlos Dunlap is not going to the Pro Bowl this year. He has the 2nd most sacks in the NFL, 13.5, has played very well against the run. This guy should be going to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, he should be accompanying Geno Atkins, but I think one of the big reasons why Dunlap, besides upping his own play, has had a great year is that Geno Atkins is back in full form, because he just destroys things inside and gives you one-on-one matchups to rush the passer, and Dunlap's taking full advantage of it.
Bengals have sacked Mallett once today. 3rd down and 10 from the 41. Good protection. And Mallett delivers a perfect throw and a catch made by Aiken. And another Ravens first down to the Cincinnati 41-yard line.
Guys, Ryan Mallett, Texarkana, Texas, okay? You know who he was as a kid? He was a kid who just wanted to throw at everything, right? He was the one who picked up rocks and threw them at cans, right? He's the one who picked up the baseball and threw it and won the contests. He was that guy. Anytime you want to throw the ball, Ryan Mallett was up for throwing it. The reason he wasn't a first-round pick coming out were off-field issues. Other things people were worried about. Not that right arm of his, because that is explosive.
First down to 41, play action. Again, excellent protection and excellent coverage by Adam Jones on Aiken. Well, you look at Mallett's collegiate career, started at Michigan, didn't work out there. He takes off, goes to Arkansas. Questions coming out of there. Comes into the NFL, of course, originally with New England. Backed up Tom Brady, went to Houston, had a chance to start. And then all of a sudden, he lost his job when he got injured, missed a team flight. And they said, that's it, you're out of here. Baltimore picks him up, and now they're going to give him a look.
And they should, because of the talent he has. If he can live up to just doing all the other things, he's got an opportunity. Remember, they're not sure when Joe Flacco will make it back next season.
Gonna have an offsides here on the Ravens, but
False start, number 73, offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
You know, the big thing talking to the front office of the Ravens and the players have brought in the Mallett. He's come in, he's a guy's guy. They like him, they like his personality, they like the way he works. I mean, I haven't heard one bad thing about him. And, you know, he really fits in well with this team and their personality.
Well, you know, the old adage about one man's trash is another team's treasure, so who knows, that could turn out to be the story for Mallett in Baltimore, although make no mistake about it, their main man is Joe Flacco. Just thrown away by Mallett trying to set up the screen, and a penalty flag from the far side of the field.
Number 87 was in the area.
Boy, that was played well by Marcus Hunt, number 99. That's the reason he had nowhere to throw the football. He read the screen and played it well.
There are actually two fouls on, or two flags on the play. And I think they're talking about whether there was also a false start here on Baltimore.
There are multiple fouls by the offense on the play. Ineligible downfield, number 71. That penalty's declined. Illegal formation. No receivers on the line of scrimmage. That penalty's also declined. Third down.
Okay.
Yeah, we got it covered there. But
Mark, that wasn't that good of a play for them, huh?
No. And you know, Tony, with all the personnel changes they've had, it's hard to get a rhythm. It's hard to get everyone in the right spot. Number of receivers have played this year. As Tom articulated, they're down to the one tight end that began the season with the team. It's been difficult. That's why we have a number of penalties for them pre-snap, just getting lined up.
2 of 2 on third down so far on this drive as Mallett and the Ravens offense, and it's dropped. Not sure he'd have gotten there anyway. To Allen at the 41, he needed to go another 10. So out comes the punt team. The defensive struggle thus far with 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter.
Yeah, Ryan Mallett wants to throw everything downfield, but he does the smart thing here and checks it down. And Javorius Allen, who's been an excellent receiver out of the backfield all season long, just has some struggles with that one, unable to corral it.
Steelers still leading Cleveland 7-0. Miami has jumped in front of New England 3-0. Here it's scoreless. Angling near the sideline, and how about that? Does it get any better than that by the punter Sam Cook?
Better to be lucky than to be good once again, guys.
What a play by Jeremy Butler, knocking it back. Gentlemen, you just talked about a great punt by Sam Cook. I thought Jeremy Butler batted it back at the end. He swiped that, but he never touched it. It just checked up really well for Sam Cook, who's going to the Pro Bowl. He and Jerry Rossberg, their special teams coach, they do a lot of golf analogies and things. They talk about the number of ways Sam Cook can work a football, similar to a golfer working certain shots that you need, using his wedge on that one to check it out.
Some backspin with some nice backspin.
Hey, come on, Russ. Stick.
So now from the 3-yard line, and a 2-yard run on a first down carry, and Brandon Williams, an emerging force in the middle of this Baltimore defense. I mean, he wants to put himself in the conversation with Geno Atkins and Aaron Donald and guys like that.
He put himself into that conversation this year with a terrific season, because when people are saying maybe he should have gone to the Pro Bowl, that puts you on the radar to go the next season if you continue to play well. That's what Brandon Williams is.
Second down and 8. Giovanni Bernard trying to find a hole, but just nothing there. Timmy Jernigan in the middle of the lineup. Kyle sort of pushes forward for some additional.
Last surge actually gave them really third manageable. If he had gone down exactly where the first pile began, we're probably in a much more of a long yardage situation. Here, let's see if they want to be personal about it and run it. Nah, they've spread it out.
Well, they got 7
no running backs. Yeah, before, but now they spread it out. They're going to throw for this one.
Right.
5 receiver set, 4-man rush. McCarron looks down the field and batted down. Great close there by Mosley as Burkhead had slipped behind him and was wide open down the sideline.
And he threw it short. Because watch the play, okay? Watch Mosley. He's in coverage, never sees the ball. Look what happens. The ball hits him. See, if that ball's out there where Burkhead has a chance, Burkhead has a chance to make a play on the ball because Mosley never saw it.
Yeah,
that ball was the ball was a little bit short. So the play that was made was really the ball finding Mosley. But in any event, Baltimore is going to get it back.
Nearly blocked. And Clay right at midfield runs into his own man. And is dropped right there. But this drive will begin in Cincinnati territory at the Bengals 49. Outstanding field position for Baltimore. You see they started the first go around at their 17, then the 22, moving 32 yards before a second punt.
Now look at them. They're on the plus 48. Of Cincinnati to start their third one.
McCarron missing the open Burkhead down the sideline that would have kept that drive alive, and now it'll be Allen off to the right side and maybe a yard, perhaps 2 on the final play of the opening quarter. So not far to go. Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Not much going on offensively for either team, although Baltimore starts his third offensive possession in the Bengals side of the field.
I think that's the key to everything for Baltimore today. Gaining in field position steadily on their 3 drives helps them out. If they can get some first downs and ball control, they're in business.
Second down and 8. Good protection, and Malik delivers a strike crossing pattern Aiken. And that is a first down all the way to the Bengals 27-yard line.
But this young man has really developed, hasn't he? Kamar Aiken, number 11. Watch him run his route inside. Gets through Drake Kirkpatrick, gets zone coverage, and he finds the dead spot in between the corner and the safety. And what a perfectly thrown football by Ryan Mallett for a big pickup and a first down for Baltimore.
Allen off to the right side, cuts it back to the inside, and another first down to the Bengal 12-yard line.
That's what happens when you get guys on the ground. Little zone play to the right-hand side.
Now you're getting guys on the ground, but you got a Baltimore team that's playing loose and having fun today. Cincinnati has more on the line. Baltimore's just turning it loose, and it's showing early in the game. They've stayed together through the tough times. They're trying to put 2 in a row together.
Allen again, good running room, and he's leveled at the 6-yard line. But a good pickup on first down now inside the Bengals 10 for Allen.
I like that. You know, when you have a play that's successful, why not call it again? Make him stop it. You know what I'm saying, Charles?
Yeah, take away your ego as a play caller, right?
Yeah.
And go ahead and do it. And that's exactly what happened on that one. Offense coordinator Mark Trestman saw it. Hey, let's come back to it again. Let's see if they adjust. Another good pickup.
The Ravens have struggled inside the red zone. There is a penalty flag on the field.
He is an absolute force, isn't he?
Oh boy, he is something.
I think they may decline it here because Marvin Lewis is going to think you're in field goal range no matter what you do on the penalty.
Formation offense, number 72, not on the line of scrimmage. That penalty is declined. Third down.
Yeah, take the loss when you get a third down situation as opposed to second and longer, and give them one more extra shot.
All right, we'll call it 3rd down and 7. They need to get to the 3-yard line for a first down. The Bengals, a #1 scoring defense in the NFL, and the Ravens are going to spend a timeout. And down at the bottom of your screen, you see the Cleveland Browns have just kicked a field goal. So the Steelers leading in that game 7-3. You know, Charles, look, I think most people felt the Pittsburgh Steelers were perhaps, I'm not even going to call them a dark horse, because they were playing so well. They had gone 6 consecutive games of scoring 30 or more points. And the Ravens beat them.
Yeah.
So for anybody to believe the Ravens can't come in here to Cincinnati and win this game, they're just not paying attention to what's going on.
Well, you've had a team, and we're talking about Baltimore, that's been in just about every game they played this year, right? Well, you can say all the records of, 12 games where they've been within 8 points and 13, whatever that number is. They fight and they compete. So you know better. And then they have the confidence of the win last week. They come in here ready to play. They don't look at themselves as spoilers.
No.
They still see themselves as the peer of the best teams in the AFC North. Now look for these big receivers with in-breaking routes if they're going to throw the football.
4-man rush, Mallett chased, throws, nearly intercepted by Dre Kirkpatrick.
That's a missed opportunity right there, guys.
Yes, because they were about to give up 0 points if he intercepts the ball. And that's the one thing Dre Kirkpatrick does not have on his record this season, is an interception. Good coverage. Look how he covered that perfectly. Has it. He actually became the receiver and doesn't haul it in. See the pressure there by number 95, Wallace Gilberry? But really, if you didn't know better, doesn't Dre Kirkpatrick look like the receiver?
Yes, he does.
Well, he doesn't look like a receiver because he didn't catch it. Point out the field goal by Tucker is good. He's been as good as anybody in the league over the last 4 seasons. So Kirkpatrick missing a golden chance for a takeaway. The Ravens take the lead 3-0. Well, one of the great stops in downtown Cincinnati, Findlay Market.
See the pig's feet in the background. You ever had them from the market there?
I've not had those, T. I know you're a connoisseur of those.
Yeah.
Tony, you
really good.
You and I had the same meals growing up, didn't we?
Yeah. Tom was eating, caviar. And
That's
stuff.
exactly right. That's exactly right. Thank you, Tony. That one through the back of the end zone and out to the 20. Well, the Bengals, you go back to over the last calendar year, dominated for a 4th straight season in the wild card round. Started this year at 8-0. Andy Dalton breaks his thumb week 14 against the Steelers. Will this be the year in what is a 5th consecutive trip to the playoffs, 6 of the last 7 for Marvin Lewis and the Bengals, but still without a playoff win?
That was discussed heavily on our Fox pregame show, and they talked to a number of the players here. They're well aware of the issue. They have to go out and prove it, though, by finding a way to win.
Rolling on first down, McCarron, or is he? Still looking down the field and just throws it away. Very slow start for Cincinnati on offense. 2nd down and 10.
Let's take a look, because A.J. Green is a guy you always want to try and find, right? Well, Eifert's down the middle. Green's down the middle. Nowhere to go with the football there. Excellent coverage by the Ravens secondary. Then when he got on the move, he tried to keep the play alive in order to throw it instead of just hot-footing it out of there, and end up with an incomplete pass.
Well, guys, make no mistake, this is a copycat league in every way, shape, or form. McCarron against Denver in man-to-man like that picked him apart. When Denver went to zone, it was a different ball game. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee back in Los Angeles.
All right, if the Jets beat Buffalo, they're in the playoffs. But right now, Buffalo having none of that. Nice 18-yard run for a touchdown by Tyrod Taylor. Buffalo also at the 4-yard line right now, leading 7-0. Tom?
All right, Kurt, thank you.
You don't think Rex is motivated at all, do you?
No, not at all.
Just a little.
Completion to Eifert, and still on his feet and pushes forward for another first down. Former #1 pick just 2 years ago out of Notre Dame, Tyler Eifert.
I think the tackle may have pushed him forward, guys. I know he gave great effort on the play, and I don't want to take anything away from Eifert, But at last tackle, when he tackled him, he actually propelled him forward.
That's big
instead of
Brandon
knocking
Williams.
him sideways.
Yeah, you got a big guy like Brandon Williams coming and hit him. It's going to knock you about 3 yards.
Handed off to Jeremy Hill, and he's up to the 45. Flag comes in late. Zadarius Smith, the rookie out of nearby Kentucky, on the stop.
Holding, number 65 offense. 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
That's Clint Bowling, the left guard.
You know, Terry Bradshaw talked about this Bengals team in our pregame show and mentioned their lack of success running the ball lately. You know, they went from averaging 114 yards a game running it when Andy Dalton was the starter to about 88 yards a game running it under A.J. McCarron. They've got to find a rhythm and consistency running the football as they head towards the playoffs. They haven't had it in the last few weeks.
Third penalty, and 2 of them have really hurt Bengal drives so far today. The hold by Whitworth in the opening quarter. And now 1st and 20 after the hold by Bowling. McCarron running, throws, and incomplete.
Tony, I think we got to give a lot of credit to the Ravens on defense here. They are making it very difficult for A.J. McCarron to get comfortable in the pocket, aren't they?
Yeah, they're doing a good job with the pass rush. Only 4 guys up front, but the coverage on the backside is, I think, what's really getting A.J. You know, they're staying in front of him. They're making him move a little bit, and you know, he's not really having a lot of success when he's scrambling out of that pocket, throwing downfield.
Of course, that did look like a catch. It should have been made by Burkhead. That throw is right on the money. Looking at A.J. Green, that wasn't there. So he comes across the middle to Sanu, and another penalty flag is down behind the line of scrimmage. And another hold, it appears, perhaps against the Bengals. Actually, we have a pair of flags.
Player downfield, number 68. That penalty is declined. Holding, number 61 offense. That penalty is accepted. 10 yards. Replay second down.
Well, the only one who hasn't been flagged for a penalty on the offensive line is Andre Smith.
So that'd be right in the middle. That's Russell Bodine. And you see he's starting to grab some cloth right there. And yeah, he's got a full hand of Timmy Jernigan's jersey in the front. That allowed McCarron to find Sanu after a look to the outside at A.J. Green.
Well, if you're a Bengal fan and you know the problems you have had in the playoffs the last 4 years, and granted, we're only in the second quarter, just a few minutes into the second quarter, but this is not starting well. It's getting better right now. Big hit on the reception by Marvin Jones, but a big chunk to get back to 3rd down and 8 coming up.
And guys, if there's one really underrated aspect of the game of A.J. McCarron, it's his athleticism and his nimbleness. Look how he moves in the pocket, moves out of it, but notice where the eyes are. Downfield, still searching for a target, and he finds Marvin Jones. That was a 2nd and 30 play. He's turned it into, what, a 3rd and 7? That's well done by McCarron and the offense to give themselves a chance on 3rd down.
What a job they're doing on A.J. Green. 1 catch for 10 yards, and this is a guy who has just dominated the Ravens over the last 3 seasons. Timeout, Bengals. The 2nd annual Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award honors a player who exemplifies outstanding sportsmanship on the field. Each team nominates a player. Justin Forsett, out for the year with a broken arm, one of 8 finalists for the award in the NFL. The winner will be announced at the NFL Honors Award show the night before Super Bowl 50.
What a great nominee there, Justin Forsett. Terrific career year in 2013. Had been a journeyman runner, became a lead runner here. People didn't think it could happen, and was headed towards another big year here. And he got hurt and out for the season.
And that is another penalty, it appears,
Number 18 offense.
against a Bengal offensive lineman.
3rd down.
Well, they said 18, so maybe A.J. Green started too. I don't know, but we know Zeitler did as well.
They have zero rhythm on offense right now, guys. Nothing is crisp. No dispatch in and out of the huddle. When they get up in the line of scrimmage, there's always someone jumping or not on the line of scrimmage. There's no real established rhythm, which is unusual for the Bengals, because usually they operate very smoothly on the offensive side.
54. Blue 80.
So that 3rd and 7 has become 3rd down and 12. And sacked all the way back to the 31-yard line is McCarron by C.J. Mosley. So 4 possessions for the Bengals, and they have been dominated by Baltimore thus far.
There's Mosley there, and you'll also get Arrington coming off the side, 24. So you end up getting a corner or really a slot guy coming in for extra pressure, way more than they could block. You see everybody going after the quarterback. Elvis Dumerville provided pressure, but Mosley got home and got the sack.
Short punt. And Clay will give the Ravens again good field position out across the 35-yard line. So the Ravens on the road, season finale in front of the division champion Bengals. Well, let's turn back the clock, man, in 1989. Hugh Jackson, John Gruden, and our very own Charles Davis on the coaching staff at the University of the Pacific in Stockton, California.
Yeah, I think they played us at University of Pittsburgh back then, didn't they?
I believe that was the season opener, Goose. We came to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and you whacked us. I think it was 38-3 or something like that.
That was, I thought that was going to be our homecoming game. But,
yeah, homecoming in the season opener.
Yeah, season opener, but yeah, it wasn't a good day for you guys that day.
Not at all. Walt Harris was our head coach, later the head coach for your Pitt Panthers.
That's right.
Took you to the Fiesta Bowl.
First down, Ravens leading 3-0 and incomplete on first down. Aiken looking for a penalty on Dre Kirkpatrick.
We were a little overmatched that day. Let's just put it that way. We started a true freshman, Dave Hennigan, at quarterback. Been on campus 3 weeks.
At Pitt.
At Pitt.
Tony, how'd you play that day? You had a monster game, didn't you?
Yeah, I had 6 sacks. I think I had 45 tackles. Something around them numbers. I don't think they had a computer taking all the stats.
So exactly, couldn't go that high. A human mind couldn't count that high.
That's right. They ran out of lead in the pencil, Tom.
There you go.
Well, we have a moment. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee back in L.A.
All right, the Buffalo Bills, led by Rex Ryan, trying to keep the Jets out of the playoffs. Carlos Williams on 4th and 1 with a 2-yard score. They missed the extra point. The Buffalo leads at 13-0. Jets needing to win to get into the postseason. We're watching that game and Goose's coat.
All righty, Kurt, thank you very much. 3rd down and 5 for the Ravens. Play clock down to 5, and there appears to be some confusion. And they just do get it off. Mallett throws, and what a throw, and what a catch made by Williams across midfield.
I can't believe he made
Nelson in coverage, and how in the world, Tony, did he get it?
Wow.
Tony, did he thread it through there? I mean, he really whipped it through, didn't he?
I thought, listen, standing behind him, watching this play, I thought it was going to be an interception.
Look at that. The coverage is excellent. He got it out just enough in front. But how about the concentration by Max Williams with Reggie Nelson's hand in front of his face?
And, of course, Nelson is the co-leader in the NFL in interceptions with 8 of them. He's on his way to the Pro Bowl. So normally you throw it in his neighborhood, and that ball normally is coming back the other way.
Guys, Cincinnati, number 98, Brandon Thompson, is a knees, questionable return.
Thank you, Tony. That's a part of their defensive line rotation. And they had to up it last week in Denver because they didn't want to play Geno Atkins very long because he has sickle cell trait. And you worry about the altitude, so they had to decrease the number of snaps he played. Thompson, Pat Sims both up for that game inside. Sims played very well for Cincinnati.
And yet Sims or Clark are up today. So if they have the injury now to Thompson, that could be a big hit. There's another unbelievable catch, or is it an interception?
This is going to be interesting who comes up with the football here.
I mean, that was Williams again in the middle of it. And they're saying it's a catch for the tight end, and the ball belongs to the Ravens. And there's some pushing and shoving going on at the bottom of your screen.
But what happens is if the offense and the defensive guy is a simultaneous catch, it always goes to the offensive side.
Yes, and let's see here, because watch the play. Look at that catch there by Williams, and then the fight for the ball by Mauluga, number 58. And as you talked about, if it turns out to be a simultaneous or both of them fighting for it, both of them have the football, it goes to the offense. Max Williams back-to-back. Terrific catches for the Ravens.
Williams has done a nice job. He missed a couple of games with a concussion, but he's closing in on 30 receptions in this his rookie year. He's a strong kid. There's confusion everywhere before the snap of the football there.
We get a timeout.
There may be a challenge, I think, the flag thrown by Marvin Lewis.
Cincinnati is challenging the ruling on the field that the offense caught the pass. We'll review the play.
Williams ever had control of this ball right here. Still moving around a little bit. We'll see. Mike Pereira, how do you see this one? This is a tough call.
I see this play that I'm glad I'm here in L.A. and not on the field having to make this decision. But, you know, I think it's one of those where it's going to the ground. You have to maintain possession, but I'm not so sure. Remember, you got to go with the ruling that was on the field initially, which is the fact of a catch and down by contact.
The ruling
I'm
on
not
the
so
field
sure.
stands. Third down, Baltimore. Cincinnati will be charged with their second timeout.
So you said it, Mike. The ruling on the field stands.
And Carl Cheffers just completed my statement for me. I'm not so sure you can overturn it because you don't have anything that really shows clear possession by the defense.
Alrighty, so it's a 3rd down and 8. We'll be checking in with Mike Pereira throughout the afternoon. Under 6 to go, closing in on 6 to go until halftime. And the Ravens a 3-0 lead. And another whistle and penalty flag.
This game is played at a real herky-jerky
pace, isn't it? Please set the game clock to 6:11. 6:11, please.
I mean, they are just, there's no rhythm anywhere. Whether it's the team, the players doing it.
Agree.
Okay, the officials now, got to reset the clock just when they're up there ready to play. Right now, no one can there's no smoothness to this game. It's bumpy all the way around.
Sloppy.
Big-bodied receivers here, Tony and Tom, for the Baltimore Ravens. Not a lot of niftiness, not a ton of speed. They like in-breaking routes to try and get the ball to these guys.
Blitz coming after Mallett. Ravens pick it up, and there's the open tight end. And again, it is Williams for a first down to the 35-yard line. Bengals have really been hurt by tight ends and running backs as receivers so far this season.
And Max Williams is doing yeoman's duty here in the first the first half of this game. Makes himself, finds himself open, makes himself available to the quarterback, delivers another first down.
Williams, a 2nd-round draft choice this year out of the University of Minnesota. And it's Terrence West tripped up to the 31-yard line.
Now, guys, remember, this is the #1 scoring defense in the NFL, the Cincinnati Bengals. But because the offense has really started to struggle, beginning with the second half of Denver, guess what? The pressure's now shifted big time to this defense. You know, and I'm wondering if they're tightening up a little bit, trying to figure out if they can make a play to help their team out, if they can get a takeaway, and maybe trying to do a little bit extra, and Baltimore continues to move.
Blitz coming again, and Burfict runs right through it. Catch made by Butler. Cuts it back to the middle of the field, and he has a chance to get to the end zone. Inside the 10, a touchdown for Jeremy Butler and the Ravens. And a point after away from a 10-point lead for the visiting Baltimore Ravens.
Guys, remember early in the game when Javorius Allen caught the ball and didn't make the effort to get up and then was smacked by Burfict? Watch on this play. Let's see if he caught it first and foremost. Okay, that might be challengeable right there because I'm not sure he actually caught it. But on that one, he went down and made sure he got himself back up and got into the route. Let's take a look because I'm not sure this is actually caught.
Now that ball hits the ground right here, Charles.
Right there.
Yep.
He's got hands around it, but I don't think it's clear enough for it to be a catch.
You don't have to challenge. It will be a review because every scoring play is reviewed.
I'll tell you what, they caught him in the perfect blitz play for this call.
And Mallett did a nice job with a free runner coming right at him, getting rid of the football.
And a touchdown is under review.
Yeah, and as Tom noted, scoring play reviewed, and you see the ball there. I think this is coming back, guys.
It's better angle here.
Nice job by the Ravens getting downfield, though, and setting up blocks.
See, look at this right there.
Yep.
But guys, Tony, as you pointed out, that was set up perfectly, wasn't it?
Yeah, they hit him right at the right time. Had the blitz coming, no linebackers there on the other side of the field, and he does a great job after he catches it. He cuts across the field where no one's at.
Scoring play under review with just under 5 minutes to go, and they're still talking about it. Mike Pereira, again, we check in with you there back in Los Angeles. Do you think that this one will be overturned?
You know, I think it's an interesting play here because you want to watch here. It's not just the ball touching the ground. It's whether he had control of the ball before it touched the ground. So he gets the right hand, left hand, then it touches. Now, if he has control first and then it touches and he doesn't lose control, then it remains a catch. So that's what they're going to look at here.
Mike, I think that he didn't have
After
enough
review,
control.
the receiver did not control the ball prior to it hitting the ground. It is an incomplete pass. It will be 3rd and 7 on the 32-yard line. Please set the game clock to 5:04.
I love that explanation, Mike. Thanks for making it so clear because based on your explanation, I didn't think he had control before the ball went to the ground.
Yeah, I agree. That left hand looked like the ball was still moving in the left hand as it was going to the ground in that last replay that we had.
All right, so 3rd down and 7. Just a 4-man rush this time, and Mallett gets it away. Contact Adam Jones and Gibbons looking for a flag. Incomplete, no flag. And out comes once more Justin Tucker to attempt the field goal.
So Baltimore used the pressure against them the last time. Now watch the linebackers, both of them getting inside what they call the A-gaps, and then both of them backing out. That's Vinny Ray, 57, and Vontaze Burfict, 55. They didn't come and bring the pressure. Coverage downfield. Did he have an arm pin there for Kamar Aiken? Kind of got away with one there, it may have appeared.
He did.
This will be a 50-yard try. Tucker, 17 of 29 in his career from 50-plus. And is it enough? It is. Tucker hits his 4th field goal from 50-plus this season. And with under 5 to go, the Ravens extend their lead. They don't get the touchdown. That was overturned on the review. But they do get the field goal. So, Charles, we began this afternoon with Tony Siragusa talking to Andy Dalton. You can't begin to explain to somebody the feeling here in Cincinnati for a franchise that, look, it's become one of the better franchises in the league as far as the product they're putting on the field. Playoff 6 in the last 7, now 5 in a row. But everybody is really on edge about getting a playoff win. This has not been an impressive performance so far today by the offense.
It's interesting. We were here earlier this season when St. Louis was in town, and we talked about them, and they all acknowledged the elephant in the room, which is getting a playoff win. But we were nowhere near the end of the season yet. It's amazing how the closer you get to that, the tougher it is, the tighter a team will get about that. And I think we're seeing some of that right now with Cincinnati. Backup quarterback playing. Offense lost its rhythm, really stood second half against Denver. Because you remember the beginning of the game in Denver, went right down the field. 90 yards, 80 yards, scored touchdowns. From that point on, right, the second half, they haven't been the same football team on offense. And we're seeing that today. So all the pressure right now is on Cincinnati's defense to make sure they keep themselves in range. And right now they've done a nice job of that. That touchdown got called back due to a non-catch. Turned it into a field goal. So instead of being down 10-0, it's only 6. It's a good job by Cincinnati.
And bonus handled by Pierman, and now he's across the 15-yard line and close to the 20. That could have been a disaster for the Bengals. January 17th, the first ever USC title bout comes to FS1. Bantamweight champion T.J. Dillashaw puts his belt on the line. He'll take on Dominic Cruz. Sunday, January 17th, only on FS1. Emmanuel Lemur is down on the field. Backup linebacker, got a lot of playing time last year with injuries to Maualuga along with Vontaze Burfict.
One of their better special teams players. You believe that guy was a quarterback before?
Hard to believe.
Junior college quarterback, went to Kansas State. And of course, Kansas State, they do such a great job coaching those kids and developing them. Outside linebacker, safety first, moved to outside linebacker, and has found a home as an outside linebacker special teams guy in the NFL.
So we will take a timeout as they took a look at the injured Bengal back in a moment. Well, still down on the field, the injured Bengal, Emmanuel Lemur. They're going to try to get him up on his feet, and hopefully everything will be okay for Lemur. Very tender, and now he'll need help. Certainly our thoughts and prayers with him that everything's okay. Here you are in the season finale. You're tuning up for the playoffs, maybe next week or the week after. Of course, the Ravens know all about injuries. But the Raven defense has been a story so far today on A.J. McCarron and his Bengal offense.
No doubt about it. They've made things very difficult. Look at the first 4 possessions of the game. All punts. Not able to move the ball very well at all. And when he's tried to throw the ball, he's been under a lot of pressure all day.
And they've not been able to run it. Not a bad first down carry there. Close to 6 on the pickup by Jeremy Hill.
And this has been the day for A.J. McCarron. Even when he's got an open guy, sometimes they don't just catch it. One of those was really throwing mustard. That one was underthrown to Rex Burkhead. Unable to connect there. It's been that type of a day so far. The one thing I do know about A.J. McCarron, though, composure, poise, rarely leaves that young man. So don't think that he's going into the, this series flustered and out of sorts. He tends to stay within himself pretty well.
So the frustration of Lemur, there's a catch, and the ball is loose, and it trickles out of bounds. That will be a reception and a first down. They will mark it at the 33-yard line. Looked like Arrington stripped it away.
It's one of those cold days where it's not wet, but it seems like it's a little slick out there, Tony.
Yeah, just I don't know. It looks like it's in good shape. I mean, I've been out here all over the field.
Arrington popped it out a little bit. Popped it out pretty well.
Yeah.
Gotta give him credit for that.
Yeah, he did. He got a hand on it.
And actually, they back it up to the 31. It's still enough for a first down. Just under 4 minutes to go. McCarron sacked back to the 28-yard line. Second time he's been sacked today. Lawrence Guy and Za'Darius Smith converge on that one. And let's check in back in L.A. with Mike Hill.
10th season, Brandon Marshall has never gone to the playoffs, can get in with the win today against Buffalo. 17-yard score, 14th of the season, matches a franchise record. Jets win or Steelers loss in New York is in the playoffs, but Steelers are leading right now in the second. Back to you guys.
Yeah, Steelers are leading now by a single point. It was 7-0. Now it's 7-6. Leading in Cleveland. McCarron, excellent protection this time, and throws, and 2 bodies collide, and a penalty flag is down. That was Will Hill running into Marvin Jones across midfield.
And if this penalty stands, Will Hill bailed them out. The coverage was there. There was nowhere to put the football, and Will Hill ends up running into the receiver.
Number 22 defense, automatic, first down.
I think they've got the wrong number on it. Right there's the interference. It's Will Hill. It's almost like he played the man and didn't find the football. And John Harbaugh's upset because he's like, is that even a catchable football? But Will Hill just bailed out the Cincinnati Bengals because they didn't have a play.
He looks a lot like his brother right there. We normally see his brother quite animated on the sideline. Of course, Jim leading the University of Michigan to an unbelievable bowl destruction of Florida. There's Jeremy Hill out of the backfield, and that's a Bengal first down to the 36-yard line.
So the Ravens have had a tough time with penalties throughout this year. They just set a dubious record of most penalty yards in a season. But A.J. McCarron came right back with nice movement in the pocket. He's been under pressure all game long, yet has kept his poise and found his receiver for a nice pickup.
Well, you can read Harbaugh's lips there. He's saying, hey, look, you didn't call the one on the other side of the field on Adam Jones, our last possession, and then you call this one. Into the hands of Jones, and he stretches forward close to the 30-yard line. That'll be a gain of 5, maybe 6.
It's a good open field tackle by Sharice Wright. You know, those one-on-ones, that's why they throw those routes out there, to give a one-on-one to those receivers, give them a chance to make one shake move and pick up big yardage. Sharice Wright's tackle prevented that from happening.
He did a nice job going for the legs. A lot of guys stay up near the shoulders to get beat all the time.
Little delay to Hill. And that'll be inside the 20 and up for a first down to the 21-yard line. 2-minute warning. Bengals for the first time all day on the move, trailing 6-0. Get apps, videos, and more at iTunes.com/NFL. Charles Davis, Tony Siragusa, our entire NFL on Fox crew. A happy new year to all, and welcome to what was a bright sunny day in Cincinnati. Now a partly cloudy day. Got to go back to October of last year. Last time the Bengals were shut out in the first half of the game. But they're on the move. First down at the Raven 21. McCarron. Dangerous throw there and threw it out of bounds. Took a big hit. Jernigan was there along with Mosley.
Here comes Jernigan coming after him. That's Elmas Dumerville, actually 58, who ends up getting in there first. And then Mosley was on the coverage. Really had him blanketed, so that ball going out of bounds and incomplete was good for Cincinnati.
Yeah, nowhere for him to go and step up to. Those guys up front are doing a great job with push for the Ravens.
Second down, Eifert. Good protection there, and a touchdown to Tyler Eifert into the end zone. .22 yards and a 13th touchdown catch of the year for Tyler Eifert.
And this is what they've been missing, because it's just a seam route. Watch him get upfield and get into the seam. And how about the delivery? And remember all the pressure, Tony, we've been talking about that Baltimore's provided?
Yep.
Well, guess what? A.J. McCarron didn't even feel it that time, stepped up and delivered. He didn't allow it to spook him after pressuring him all first half.
Point after is good. Of course, Eifert, when he was injured 4 weeks ago, he led the league in touchdowns by 2 through week 12. So it's been a while for the big man out of Notre Dame.
And they are so happy to have him back. But a lot of times, Tony, when a guy is feeling pressure all day long, his eyes come down against the rush and he doesn't see downfield anymore. A.J. McCarron's felt pressure this whole first half. The eyes stayed up. And he delivered a perfect strike on the pass to Eifert, because he had to throw it over Ladarius Webb and in front of Jimmy Smith.
You know, we were talking about a rhythm on that offense. This is the first series that they really put a nice combination of plays together, made the catches they need to make, and went all the way downfield for the score.
Well, if Tyler Eifert's on a pitch count from Hugh Jackson, the offensive coordinator, he knew exactly when to insert him in the lineup, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He's got such a big body. He does a nice job of screening guys off.
Yeah, he's got a little basketball in there, doesn't he?
Yeah,
being able to body people off, block them off, and go get it. But that play, good protection by the offensive line. But I keep coming back to this with McCarron. As much pressure as he's been under in this first half, so many young quarterbacks now, their eyes come down on every snap because they feel the pressure. They're waiting for it. He didn't allow that to happen. Those eyes stayed downfield, stepped up in the pocket, and delivered an absolute strike.
He's got a lot of confidence in that offensive line to stay in the pocket while it's collapsing around him.
But one thing I always say about him, I've said it forever, but it's a real simple statement, that kid has moxie.
Play waiting on the kick by Mike Nugent. And Clay will bring it out 5 yards from his own end zone and run out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
Look, TB, I'm telling you, it's really simple. If the Patriots win, they win home field throughout the playoffs. Now, the Colts can knock Houston out of the AFC South if Indianapolis wins and Houston loses, but then also the Falcons have to win. Ravens,
just a second. Whoa.
Bills, they got to win too.
No. America, I know you're confused as I am. Let's just talk about this at halftime. Wow.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Holy cow. This reminds me of General Matt.
We're going to check in with Mike Hill here in a moment. I mean, there is so much on the line. all around the NFL this final weekend. How about it, Mike Hill, back in L.A.?
Yeah, how about that sixth playoff spot in the AFC? Steelers trying to get in with the win. Jets lost. Antonio Brown doing his part. 17-yard score. It's 14-6 Steelers. Steelers do the win, and the Jets lost to get in. And right now, Jets are losing in Buffalo. Charles, back to you.
Yes, they are. They're losing, but they have scored the touchdown. It's 13-7 there. And New England is losing 10-3. Catch made by Clay. And a step late. Or that's Aiken, I beg your pardon. A step late, it looked like, was Nelson.
And when you are big-bodied receivers who don't have a ton of wiggle and a lot of speed, you're going to have to make a lot of contested catches. And that was another contested catch. Looked like, was it Reggie Nelson who was in the coverage there? What a great catch, though, by Aiken.
Well, the new Fox Tuesday is comedy's biggest and night. Catch brand new episodes of New Girl, Grandfathered, Brooklyn 9, and what we call Charles Davis, the Grinder. It all kicks off this Tuesday on Fox.
Wow, that's pretty power-packed lineup there. Brooklyn 9-9, then the Grinder, bringing it.
Catch made by Butler, and he's dropped at the line of scrimmage, maybe a loss of a yard. 1 minute to go and counting, and Baltimore hurrying up. Got to be careful here. Yes. Nelson just missed a pick a moment ago.
I think the defense for Cincinnati was energized by that offensive drive by their team. I think that put them up on their toes for this drive themselves.
There's a tight end, and he steps out of bounds. That's a 5th catch of the game for Max Williams. He had 26 the entire year coming in. We mentioned he's missed a couple of games so far, injured this year.
And he also had a lot of other people around him before. Crockett Gilmore, who was the starter, he's not there.
Dick Boyle suspended.
Dick Boyle suspended, so he's lost people. But that's allowed more opportunities for him, and he's capitalizing today in a big way.
40 seconds remain until halftime. Tucker has a big leg. And that one is right down the middle again. It is Butler, and that's to the 42.
Another nice catch.
And a spike by Mallett. And the clock stops at 23.
I don't know about you guys, but watching Mallett in only his 2nd game as a starter and his 3rd week in Baltimore, I feel like he's been there longer. I mean, he settled in very well with this Ravens team.
Second down and 10 from the Cincinnati 43-yard line. And a catch across the middle. And perfect there on the stop. That's Chris Matthews, who had of course, a monster Super Bowl game, came out of nowhere and was cut loose earlier this season by Seattle. Baltimore picked him up, and now reception in 3 straight games.
Those catches in the Super Bowl were his first catches in the NFL. It's amazing.
Nice time to pull that out, huh?
Without a doubt.
Well, we talked about Mallett. You know, you go back coming out of Arkansas to transferring from Michigan, drafted by New England in the 3rd round. Backed up Tom Brady for 3 years there. Traded to Houston, certainly had some issues. Lost, regained a starting job, and late for a practice in a team flight. They let him go. Baltimore signs him in mid-December. Led him to the win over the Steelers, and now playing well here in Cincinnati. Escaping first down denying tackle was Allen, and he runs through the stop of Ray. Spiked. 3 seconds left, and out comes Tucker to regain the lead.
That was a well-executed drive and tremendous hustle by the offense of Baltimore. Able to get up to the line of scrimmage in enough time for Mallett to spike the ball and give a shout out for Tucker to kick a field goal heading into the half. Really, really well executed. Great hustle by the Ravens.
This will be a 49-yard field goal attempt. And a timeout by the Bengals. That one would have been good. I mean, Tucker has only missed 1 time inside of 50 yards this entire season. One time.
He's 33 for 38 in his career inside 50 yards. You know, you might as well, I mean, you try, you freeze, you do whatever.
Right.
I mean, no sense taking them into the half with your timeout. You might as well try it. But this kid is pretty much money inside of 50.
Now, the guys you keep an eye on are Carlos Dunlap, along with Hunt, 99. Guys that have blocked kicks so far this season for Cincinnati. Good snap, good hold, and a good field goal once again by Tucker. And the Ravens, who stunned the Steelers a week ago, have come into Cincinnati and will go to the break with a 9-7 lead. All right, fellas, Kurt Menefee and the gang in L.A. for the Visa halftime, which begins right now. Today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. Of course, Andy Dalton sitting this one out. He joined Tony Siragusa before the game. Not sure when he's going to be back. So A.J. McCarron making his third start. And Ryan Mallett making his second straight start after the win over the Steelers 1 week ago. They had a touchdown overturned on review. Took A.J. McCarron a while to get going, but he hooked up with Eifert for a 22-yard touchdown. Tucker 3 field goals, and that's today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. All right, Charles Davis, we wondered before the game, you know, this is a very important game for the Bengals. They would love to somehow, some way get a first-round bye, get another week for Andy Dalton to try and get healthy. And till that last drive, some serious questions on offense.
And right now, what they have to do is down focus a little bit, because all those 60,000-foot questions really come down to, can they play better? Can they feel good about going into the playoffs, regardless of whether they have to play next week in the wild card or get the bye and go into the divisional round? Because the last 4 quarters, offense finally got a drive going. Defense has been pretty consistent throughout. But they've got to get it together here.
Tony Siragusa.
Thanks, Thomas. Listen, got a chance to talk to both coaches. Marvin Lewis, you know, it reiterated exactly what we talked about in the first half. No rhythm offensively. And he said, Goose, it's because we haven't established the run. We need to come out if we want to do anything in the playoffs and in this game. We have to go and run the ball better. John Harbaugh also came out and said, listen, in the second half, first series, we got the ball. We have not been good all year coming out and scoring. We need to score, and not just field goals, because we're not going to win with just field goals. We need to score touchdowns.
That's a good way to get it started right there. That's a gain of 10 as they dump it off to Jeremy Butler up to the 29-yard line. Some of the numbers from the first half, pretty much even, except on third down. The Ravens were really, really good.
And that's where Cincinnati had been winning on defense all year long. You know, coming into the game on defense, third down conversions, they're giving up 37% for the season. They put an increased emphasis on that, and Baltimore really shattered that in the first half.
Allen off to the right side, picked up a yard. Petco, along with Ray Maualuga on the stop.
Look, I'm as aware of as anyone that the game is the thing. But I've got to ask, Tony, is that velvet? I mean, is that velvet?
Listen, when you're a big guy,
I mean, what is that?
That's faux, some
bear.
kind of animal. I don't know.
and
faux bear.
With the number one thing being faux.
Yeah, it could be, you know, faux grizzly, faux something. I don't know exactly what it is. But when you're a big guy my size and you see a jacket that fits, you get it.
There's the play the Bengal defense was looking for, and that's an interception by Vontez Perfect.
When they put him back on the field on third downs in their nickel or what they call their sub packages, they feel like they've gotten better in that aspect. Remember, he was coming off of microfracture surgery of his knee. So they essentially had him in a pitch count earlier in the year, not wanting to play him full time. How about that read and layout of the first mistake Ryan Mallett has really made in this game? And he sets up his offense in a big way. I want to see if they want to strike right now with A.J. McCarron.
First time the Bengals have started a drive outside of their own 20-yard line all day. And a first down give is to Hill on the ground. Hill has run rather effectively at times so far in this game. They just have been few and far between. I mean, he's averaging over 6 yards a carry.
See if Hugh Jackson wants to press it a little bit here, Tony, in terms of the running game.
Yeah, I mean, they got the big guys. They got Jake Fisher, who was an offensive lineman. Last week wearing number 74, and this week number 44 in the backfield. So you have the bodies out there. You have the big bodies. You have guys that can block. You got to stick with the run, and that's what Marvin wanted to do, what he talked about going into halftime. And I wouldn't be surprised if they just keep running the ball, try and pound it out here in the second half.
And there's Ogway, the extra lineman, in as well.
Put it in the hands of Jones, and wow. Here's some ankles breaking out around the 20-yard line right there. I mean, he just ran circles around Jimmy Smith after that move.
Guys, I'm glad we all got taped before this game because I could feel this one. Look at that move there on Smith. The second move on the pursuit coming inside out. Look right there. Look at that. That's two guys. That's Mosley, 57. He puts it on. 23, Kendrick Lewis.
I like how he finished it. Put the head down and drive ahead. Got an extra 3 yards at the end of that play. Not only rhythm, but he's got some strength, too.
Hill off the right side, and he's inside the 20, down to the 16-yard line.
And that's what you were talking about, Tony. They just brought Jake Fisher back in to play the H-back position, 44. He doesn't start as fast as Ryan Hewitt in terms of being a lead blocker, and that's why they won't do nearly the same number of things that they would with Hewitt. But, boy, that's a huge body that's leading in the running game.
That's 308 pounds.
Ryan Mallett hoping his defense can pick him up a little bit, at least hold him to a field goal and decrease the error that he just made.
They got 12 guys in the huddle right now.
And Marvin comes sprinting out on the field to call a timeout.
Yeah, because if they don't, they're going to get a flag for that.
Good pickup by the Bengals bench to save them from a big penalty.
Well, football today, the final weekend of the regular season, but we're just getting warmed up in the Big East Conference. Wednesday, Seton Hall takes on Villanova, and Xavier, which is just about 7 miles up the road from Paul Brown Stadium, will go on the road to the Big Apple to take on St. John's.
Yeah, they had to get off the mat. They had a tough one last week. Remember, we were hyping that game. They got jumped on pretty well. Their point guard got hurt, so they're hoping to get him back pretty soon.
Then they came back and beat number 9 Butler, a couple of days ago.
The Big East, it's always going to be tough. Always going to be topsy-turvy, isn't it?
Second down and 7. McCarron to throw it. And that is A.J. Green. Did he come down? He did at the 5-yard line. First and goal, Bengals.
What a target he is, huh, guys?
Woo. And he may have gotten away with one of those great pushes at the end. Watch it. Watch A.J. Green. Right? Yep. Nice little job. That subtle, what you have in the best receivers. They get a little extra on that and gets away. And look at the toe tap to keep it in bounds and make this catch a catch.
Hill in the backfield. It's McCarron out of the shotgun. And they fake it to Hill and throw it to the end zone, and that is a touchdown for A.J. Green. He went up and got it next to Sharice Wright.
I don't know how you defend that right there, Charles.
I don't either. Or Sharice Wright. These are back-to-back catches by Green. Both of them over him. He's playing him well. And what he did was A.J. Green felt the pressure of the contact from Sharice Wright and just separated at the moment of truth. When the ball's up there, see, he's with him, and now he knows I separate and go get it, and Wright is going to be a count behind, and once again, he gets the feet down. A.J. Green, skillful and physical on those 2 routes to go up for a touchdown.
Nice job. About a young man starting his career. A.J. Green, and granted, we're only talking 5 years into his career, but he is one of just 2 players in the history of the game to have 5 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons. The other, Randy Moss, had 6 in a row to start his career.
That's our colleague. I bet that came up on our early pregame show.
It all started with a perfect interception, capped off by the touchdown pass to Green. Well, you see receptions like this, and you see how graceful and athletic these young men are.
Tony, you noticed this. What did you see?
You know, just at the end here, it's a one-handed catch. The ball, his left hand comes off the ball, but look at the official making sure that he has control all the way to the ground. He holds the ball, braces it against his body for the catch and for the touchdown. That's a great catch on his part.
Kalen from the 2-yard line. Bengals back in front for the second time. But a good return by Clay up to the 38-yard line, and Reggie Nelson in on the tackle. So the reception by Green gives Cincinnati a 5-point lead. Of course, what's at stake for Marvin Lewis and the Bengals? They'd love to get this win, a Denver loss, and get a first-round bye. Give Andy Dalton one extra week to prepare for an appearance in the postseason. Of course, for Dalton, he has matched Joe Flacco as the only two quarterbacks going back to the Super Bowl era to start a career as a starting quarterback, beginning as a rookie and taking a team to the playoff in 5 straight seasons.
Not to be underestimated. I mean, it seems like a normal deal. You said 1 of 2. That tells you how impressive that record is.
Mallett throws into traffic and nearly intercepted again. Batted out of there by Adam Jones.
I think there's a little extra spark in the Cincinnati defense now, guys. We saw it after their last touchdown a little bit. Now it's even more. Look at that coverage by Adam Jones, one of 8 cornerbacks in the NFL over the age of 30. And I don't think any of them are playing at a higher level than he is this season.
Guys, real quick, number 59, Emmanuel Moore, ankle out, special teams guy. They're going to miss him. And the Ravens, number 33, Will Hill, he has a back, and he's questionable for his return.
3rd down and 9, and Mallett got lost in coverage. Did Butler. He was able to squirt loose from Leon Hall, and that is a first down to the Bengal 45. 3rd down. The Ravens have been lights out today.
They really have, but watch what happens here. Just up and getting to the outside. And every time Cincinnati makes a play and brings the crowd into it, and it looks like they've got, hey, the defense making a play. How about Baltimore with the calming effect play of their own coming right back at them? John Harbaugh's team, they never back down.
Good protection, and Mallett. Is that a catch? It is a reception, and again, that's Max Williams. 6th catch of the game for Williams, having a career day, the rookie out of Minnesota.
When you can make a play like that and lay out and go get the football, now did he possess it all the way through is going to be a question mark. That's why you get that extra X at the end of your name, Max. Double X, look at him lay out for the ball, but did he actually keep it?
Well, Marvin Lewis has thrown the red flag to challenge the call on the field, which is a catch by Williams. Lewis challenged early, you may remember, and lost a challenge.
Cincinnati is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass. We'll review the play.
We go to break and tell you, New England, Miami tied at 10. Pittsburgh leads Cleveland 14-9. Jets trail Buffalo 16-10. Bengals lead by 5.
The receiver did not have control of the ball. It hit the ground. It is an incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd and 10 on the 45-yard line.
Hey,
Cincinnati, although successful with this challenge, has used their 2nd and final challenge of the game.
You remember that tutorial that Mike Pereira gave us in the first half about if you catch it and you possess it, the ball can hit the ground if you have control. But he didn't maintain control all the way through the process. I think it's the right call by the officials.
Yeah, you can see that the ball was down towards his legs when he rolled back over.
All right, so 2nd down and 10. And now the whistles blow, and I'm sure this will be a clock issue. You could read John Harbaugh's lips saying that's wrong.
He's had a couple that have gone against him today. The one that he didn't get, I thought with the hold on, was it Kamar Aiken in the first half that wasn't called?
Right.
It's probably the biggest one.
Boy, perfect. If there is a true hunter in the NFL, it is Vontaze Burfict. There are times that many feel he crosses the line, maybe plays through the whistle, beyond the whistle. But boy, he is the hunter.
Beyond the echo of the whistle.
You want him on your team, I'll tell you that, right?
One thing about him, he plays hard, doesn't he?
Absolutely.
And he plays with a lot of football intelligence that he doesn't get credit for.
And passion.
Third down and 7. Baltimore today, 8 of 12 against this Bengal defense on third down. Blitz coming. Baltimore picks it up. And a straight drop. It should have been a first down by Matthews. Boy, that's a play that has to be made.
I mean, Cincinnati sold the house going after him. They defeated it because it was there. Ball was there. They beat the blitz with the pass. You know, receivers always talk about the urgency of beating the blitz by running their routes a certain way, by running out ahead of it. And they got that done, and he doesn't catch the football.
Well, now penalty flag at the line of scrimmage. Matthews pointing at Kirkpatrick. Lined up facing one another in the 43.
Neutral zone infraction, number 96 defense. 5-yard penalty, remains fourth down.
Well, if you're John Harbaugh now, you're going to change your mind.
Yeah, why not?
He's got the big guys coming out in the field right now.
And he should.
Yeah, why not?
And he should. Tom was exactly right on that one.
Well, that is a terrible penalty by Carlos Dunlap. Or at least he was the number that was announced, 96.
Remember, Baltimore last week had a 101-yard interception return wiped out. Jimmy Smith, because lined up in the neutral zone, foot was in the neutral zone by Mr. Courtney Upshaw.
So here the Bengals thought they were getting the football. And it's a 4th down and 2, and John Harbaugh says, why not? Looked like a home run swing, more like a check swing by Mallett. And a quick hit, and it's dropped again, this time by Williams, who's had a good game. Well, look, you can talk about injuries, and you can talk about all the different players you're using and those that are hurt, and they're all true. But there are also other reasons why you've won 5 games. In the last 2 plays on offense, we've seen why. Of course, John Harbaugh spent a lot of time in his life in the Buckeye State. He was born here in Ohio, played collegiately about an hour up the road at Miami of Ohio. Was an assistant coach at nearby University of Cincinnati for almost an entire decade. And man, he is grinding it out. His team down by 5. McCarron incomplete on the screenplay to Bernard. And McCarron shaken up. Their backup has never taken a snap in the NFL. That is Keith Winning.
You remember McCarron got hurt on the last play of the game in Denver, where he injured his wrist. You see him get brought down there. Elvis Dumerville at the end of the play. And he gets his leg tangled up a little bit underneath him, but he's still out there. And they breathe a sigh of relief on the Cincinnati sideline.
No, that exhale you heard was the entire region of Cincinnati. Giovanni Bernard. I mean, he just got lost behind the guard, Kevin Zeitler, there, and just kept ducking in and out behind Zeitler for an 11-yard gain.
Tony, this is a little game of hide and seek between Bernard and Zeitler, 68.
Well, listen, if you're a little small back like he is.
Twice, 3 times. There he is with him there. Okay, you got me, big guy. I'm with you. You got me again, big guy? All righty then.
That's what all of us do behind Syracuse on the way to dinner.
You don't move that well, though, Tom. You don't
have to rub it in, Tony. I'm well aware of that. McCarron dropped behind the line of scrimmage by Lawrence. Guy's having a good game here today. Let's check in with Mike Hill back in Los Angeles.
Getting you updated on the AFC wild card picture for the 6th seed, Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Chris Oswell with the field goal, giving the Steelers a 17-9 lead. And meanwhile, in Buffalo, Jets losing to the Bills. Dan Carpenter with a field goal, making it 19-10 Bills. If this stands up, the Steelers are in and the Jets are out.
And Mike, if that stands up in Buffalo, Rex Ryan may levitate off the field. Okay? I mean,
very true. Very true.
They won't need to carry him off. They'll float off.
Second down, McCarron to Bernard. Flag down, very close to a first down. Needed to get to the Ravens 37, but we wait on the penalty. Well, he's looking around at the Bengals. Oh no, he's saying it's against Baltimore. He's looking for a number, it looks like, in there.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Number 35 defense. That penalty's declined. Third down.
So that's Sharice Wright, the cornerback. Okay, hits him all the way up here. Let's see what happens working with A.J. Green. Yeah, right there. See it right there. See that hand right up into the face mask area. Trying to get a jam, and the hand got too high on the body and got right into the grill.
There's confusion right now in the Bengals huddle. Somebody's going to have to get off the field. And the play clock is down to 5 seconds, and they're going to have to burn a timeout. This is what we saw a couple of times in Denver the other night. Second timeout used in this half by Cincinnati, so only one for the remainder of the game. Hugh Jackson looking at his play sheet on a 3rd down and 1. They brought in extra beef, as we've seen them do throughout the day. An additional offensive lineman, 2 in fact.
Thinking this is 4-down territory for them, isn't it? They don't get it here.
And they fake the run to throw it. Can you believe that? Well, maybe they do go for it on 4th and 1, but this is something that has gone on here in Cincinnati where a lot of fans wonder what happened to the commitment to the run game.
See, they were trying to get the big strike here because they're showing nothing but big here. So they're trying to bait you in with, okay, heavy set, play action. He wants deep, but it's covered. Well played by the Ravens defense. They're trying to get him on that, because in their mind, on 4th down, they were going to come back and go for it anyway. They're trying to get a cheap one, if there is such a thing. Didn't get it. Now on 4th down, they're going to probably come back and try and ram their way forward for the first.
I'm surprised McCarron didn't try and run for it. He had the opportunity. He had all green right in front of him.
4th down and a yard. And out of the I formation, it is Hill for a first down and more. Inside the 20 to the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Jeremy Hill.
Well, that takes that last decision totally out of the equation, huh, guys?
That is Jeremy Hill's 11th rushing touchdown, his 13th overall.
See, Jake Fisher is now the H-back. See the lead block there? Now watch this block coming right there. Did you see that? That's where Jeremy Hill was able to cut back and get to the end zone. It was a combo deal. Jake Fisher leading. I thought it was a buoy maybe coming from the opposite side and making the nice block. I wasn't quite sure on the number, but a nice block on the back side that allowed the cutback for Jeremy Hill to sprint to the end zone.
It's always those big blocks in that second level that make a 5-yard run turn into a touchdown.
So now Nugent for the point after good. You know, it's little things we talked about, these athletes at this level, that you just marvel at. The football IQ. Watch the right foot here of Hill. If he plants it one more time here, He's going to go out of bounds.
But look
He
at it.
drags the foot in the air to get to the pylon.
Beautiful play by Jeremy Hill.
That is incredible.
You know, when we talk about football IQ, I think sometimes people just, you wonder, okay, what exactly does that mean? That's a football IQ play right there that you just pointed out, Tom. Understanding, hey, if I make one more step here, we don't get the touchdown.
And that's the boogeyman right there.
Tony, you got a little bit of that in you,
I'll
the
tell you, man. He got the old, the old '70s eye styling with the V.
Is that the first touchdown dance, Tony, we've seen in weeks that doesn't end with a dab?
I'll tell you, I like it. I like that one. That was my favorite so far this year, guys. The boogeyman.
Let's see a little bit of that, Tony. You got some of that. Hang on. We'll get a shot of you.
All right.
Let's see. Go ahead. You're on now.
Break it down. There you go.
I believe it looks better with the jacket, right, Tom? Is that what
It really does. I'm telling you.
As they say, Tony Siragusa, ain't no half-stepping with you, my man.
No way. The big man's got rhythm.
But if you go back to something Tony talked about, those blocks at the second level. We had it at the first level. The offensive line did a nice job. Jake Fisher with the lead block. But that second block that allowed for the cutback for Jeremy Hill at the second level, that was the finisher.
So now play. You go back to that final drive of the first half. Bengals scored their only touchdown of the half. To start the second half, they get the pick by Perfect. Great play.
Got him lay out for that.
The catch by Green, getting both feet in bounds, and then this just beautiful, graceful reception in the corner.
Cradles it to him, cradles it for the finish.
And then the touchdown run.
And it was Obuehi, number 70, coming across formation for that second block at the second level.
So now the Ravens down 21-9. It's Williams, stopped by Lewis Harris.
Now the biggest difference in this game is Cincinnati is making the hard catches, and the Ravens aren't. Too many drop balls for first downs to keep the momentum going, and that's the difference in this game.
And in fairness, to be honest with you, in fairness to John Harbaugh and his entire staff, and they don't need me to defend him, but 4 of the 6 wide receivers who played last week and again this week were on other rosters or were entirely out of football when this season began.
Oh, that's, I know it's no excuse, but that's for the routes, Tom. But when the ball is there and it's a catchable ball, you got to make that catch.
Yep.
This isn't college. This is the pros. You're a professional. If you're out on the field, if you can go and touch the ball, you should be able to catch it. And it's not like they were tough catches that they dropped earlier.
Well put.
You know what I equated to? Last week, Cincinnati really played well on defense against Denver. But remember, Marvin Lewis kept saying there were a couple of critical plays at critical times that weren't made. That's what happened here to Baltimore. Critical catches that were not made.
They're down in a yard. It all depends on where they mark his forward progress. It looks like Allen has enough for a first down. Perfect trying to stand him up right on the line.
Yeah, that initial surge got it done for Javorius Allen.
Second effort.
On first down, Malik is sacked. Tried to flip the ball. Is that a fumble or is that a pass? Malik saying it's a pass.
Nothing definite called. I'm thinking they're counting that as a fumble.
And Michael Johnson is the injured Bengal. He was down around the feet of Malik. Brandon Thompson also was there, but Johnson limps off.
The ruling on the field is the ball was thrown forward to an eligible receiver, number 44. The ball hit the ground. It's an incomplete pass. Second down.
That's the right call.
Yeah, they got it. But look at the pressure there. Brandon Thompson first. Johnson over the top. Incomplete pass. Should be second down. Good job by Mallet, able to just get rid of it and avoid the sack or avoid the loss of yardage without coughing it up.
Play action, Mallet steps into the throw and it's underthrown. know, there's certain things when you're coming into a new team and you're coming into a new team with some quote-unquote baggage. You can't do little things like Mallett just did there a second ago. Receiver may have run the wrong route. That's fine. And it happens to everybody. Right. And quarterbacks make bad throws. But you can't throw your hands in the air and look at guys out on the other side of the field.
Yeah, you can't show up your guys. They're out there competing as well as you are. And they've had great success on third down today. 9 of 14. No one would have predicted that coming into this game. This is what you were pointing out, Tom. Here's the route. Looked like there was a miscommunication. I wasn't back shoulder. What are we doing? And he's throwing his hands out like, what are you doing? You gotta be careful with those things. Because, you know, Tony, you talked about those guys were in for him. They're solid for him, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't want to kick them in the other direction, do you?
No, not at all. Not at all. If you're going to point to anybody, you point to yourself. And that's how you gain respect in a team.
Yep. And he's got a chance to gain a lot here because we don't know, and they don't know exactly when Joe Flacco will recover from the major knee surgery. Will he be ready to go at the beginning of the year next year?
A lot of question marks.
That's why they gave him a 2-year deal.
Exactly.
Third down at 10. Mallett delivers a beautiful pass and a nice catch this time made by Matthews. He beat Nelson across the middle, and that's a Baltimore first down.
Great catch. The ball was thrown a little behind him, but these are the catches you got to make.
And it's also, this is why you don't show guys up, because they may make you look better the next time, don't they?
Absolutely.
Remember, Chris Matthews was one of the guys who dropped one earlier, one of those critical drops we talked about. He came back on that one, as you guys noted, reached behind him on a tough catch, and converted a first down on a 3rd and long.
Matthews had the 4 catches, 109 yards, a touchdown for the Seahawks. Last year, after virtually not playing wide receiver at all during the regular year. That's Terrence West. It'll bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, his game in the Super Bowl almost defies belief.
It really does.
No catches for the year. He plays in the Super Bowl, 4 catches, 109 yards. That's 27-yard average, guys, and a touchdown.
That's called the secret weapon.
And then, but how about this? Did he carry the momentum over to the next year? No. He ends up back on practice squad, ends up in Baltimore. That's what makes it even more remarkable. Kind of the zeitgeist there for him in that game.
All right, 3rd down coming up. Let's send it back to Los Angeles and check in with Kurt Menefee.
All right, we go back to Buffalo, where you know the scenario. Jets need to win to get into the playoffs. Ryan Fitzpatrick hooking up with Eric Decker. That pulls them to within 2 late in the 3rd quarter. If they lose and Pittsburgh wins, Pittsburgh's in. Pittsburgh's up by 5 over the Browns. Tom?
Yeah, 17-12 there, Kurt. Thank you. Steelers over the Brownies. Almost the entire 4th quarter to play there. That should have been intercepted by Burfict.
That's one of the best plays I've seen this year, guys. This coverage is off the charts good. Vontaze Burfict, watch him here. Run the route with the receiver. And look at him undercut it right there on Max Williams. 11 tackles on the day, Tony, and tremendous coverage.
Yeah, he ran it too good. He outran it.
He overran the play, didn't he?
Right. Exactly.
Is Cook going to do it again? Sure he is.
Look at that.
He is something. Well, of course, looking ahead to whether they're playing next week or 2 weeks from now, we know the Bengals are going to the playoffs. Marvin Lewis, 2nd tenured coach in the NFL behind only Bill Belichick. 5th straight playoff appearance. It'll be their 7th overall under Marvin Lewis. They have never won a playoff game. It should be noted they have had to play in the wild card round every time they have gone to the playoffs with Marvin Lewis as head coach. The Bengals' only 2 trips to the Super Bowl in franchise history under Forrest Gregg and then later Sam Weish. They had home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
In a different playoff system. Less teams at that point as well. But
Giovanni Bernard up to the 10-yard line. You know, it's funny, Charles, you don't hear a lot of talk in Cincinnati about Marvin Lewis's job being quote-unquote in jeopardy. I mean, he's been around just short of Belichick, one more year than Coughlin. Those guys have won a combined 6 Super Bowls over that time frame. And the Bengals without a playoff win. Nationally, there's a lot of talk about it, but not much here.
People remember what it was like before the reclamation project began. The cleanup of the locker room, all the issues they had around here, and now that they're consistently winning, they're disappointed they're not winning playoff games, but they're getting to the playoffs and they're doing it well with a pretty good group of guys now.
Be a false start against the Bengals. Tony, you know, I go back to you because there was a time when the Bengals
offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
We're talking to you and in pursuit of you of a free agent to come to Cincinnati, and at the time, this was a franchise that was not highly thought of.
Yeah, and it's been completely turned around since Marvin came here. You know, he was my defense coordinator when we won the Super Bowl in Baltimore. Just a great guy. But, you know, and I come back here to Cincinnati to play in Marvin's golf tournaments, and, you know, we stay in touch. We're very close. And he's just not only is he a staple in the community, I mean, he is more than just a head coach for this team. The players, he treats them like they're his kids, like you know, they mean something to him. He's a guy with a huge heart. You know, I see him being here as long as he wants to be here.
Sharice Wright, an excellent open field tackle on Marvin Jones. It'll bring up 3rd down. Well, you hit the nail on the head when you talk about Marvin Lewis being very much a staple and a positive influence in this entire greater Cincinnati area.
Yeah, because when he first got here, the locker room, let's face it, was not a great locker room at all, Tom. And you know, he had a lot of out of club and, you know, on the street kind of stuff that he had to go and clean up and bring some quality people here. And you know what? He's really changed it around here. They're expecting to win. They go into seasons expecting to win, and that's something that they didn't have here for a long, long time, maybe ever.
Brendan Trawick with an excellent play. He's a backup safety filling in for Hill.
Boy, that was a dangerous play right there because they ran the inside screen and they read that well. And Tony, you had the big guys running from inside out, the corners and the safeties from outside in, and they all converged on the football.
Yeah, that's one thing the Ravens defense will do. They run to the ball. A lot of pride in Baltimore.
Run by Huber. Play from the 47-yard line, and he's tackled by Pearman. Pearman, an alternate for the Pro Bowl for his work on special teams. 32 ticks left in the 3rd tonight. One man and his friends are making mistakes, so you don't have to. Don't miss Cooper Barrett's Guide to Surviving Late. Series premiere tonight on Fox.
Just because of title, I wish they would lead in with Parker Lewis Can't Lose and then go to Cooper Barrett's Guide to Survival. You know, it just kind of works for me.
Yes.
Let's see, I'm showing my age, aren't I?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
It's all right.
That's who I am.
Getting better and older, Mr. Davis. Better and older.
Older for sure.
Mallett will slide at the 44-yard line. That'll be a gain of 6 on 1st down on what could be the final play of this opening quarter. Now they're huddling up. They're down 21-9, and we'll have an entire quarter left to go.
The one guy the Ravens have that really can just sprint past people is Chris Givens. Haven't seen a ton of him out there, turning to about wide receiver. Everyone else much more big body, contested catches guy.
Quarter dominated by the Bengals. Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. 9-7 at halftime, and then the Bengals come up with 2 unanswered touchdowns in the 3rd. So off we go to the 4th, 21-9 Bengals. The Bengals win and a Broncos loss late this afternoon against San Diego, and the Bengals get a 1st-round bye. If the Broncos win their game, then the Bengals will host, we don't know who next weekend, but they'll be right here at Paul Brown Stadium in the wild card round.
really tracking what? Jets, Pittsburgh, Kansas City were the 3 possibilities, I believe. And don't forget this, though. San Diego, if I'm not mistaken, they beat Denver 4 out of their last 6. It's not out of the realm.
False start, number 72 offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Colecchio similarly was moved, of course, this year from guard to left tackle, and it looks like he might be there for the long haul. You see Kendrick Lewis headed back to the Baltimore locker room.
Assembly would love to stay at left tackle. I think John Harbaugh wanted to move him there earlier this year, and it didn't work out when they had Eugene Monroe. But they've got to decide, is he their left tackle for the future with the draft coming up? Because otherwise that probably becomes a position of need with Monroe getting shoulder surgery.
3rd down now and 9. Crossing pattern and staying on his feet is a young man who grew up in Lodi, Ohio. Kyle Juszczyk went on from Lodi, Ohio to Harvard collegiately.
You know, when he was at Harvard, now look at this. This is a fullback, right? So you can see him using a fullback, H-back, tight end. They would split him out and use him and run wide receiver routes at Harvard. And you saw some of that nimbleness at the end of the run, which allowed him to gain extra yardage after the catch.
Lodi, Ohio, Charles, you'll be happy to know they celebrate the Sweet Corn Festival every July. Population 2,700 in Lodi, Ohio.
Just so you know, the date's circled already on my calendar.
Attaboy. Nothing like sweet corn from the heartland of America.
Do they have like corn carvings and all that?
They have it all. You can get a corn waffle, a corn waffle steak.
We got to make a call. Let Charles be the grand poobah of the festival.
Good play, slow down.
Wade Mallett's been slinging it here. We haven't heard from Aiken in a little while, have we? And he's usually the #1 target for them.
The shovel pass to West, and he is slammed to the deck by Ray Maualuga. So 3rd down coming up.
Looking downfield, scanning. Watch the eye, sees his guy, just flips it forward. Maualuga right on the spot. Gains yardage to make it 3rd manageable.
We'll call it 3rd down and 5. Skies have cleared here in Cincinnati. Bright blue skies, sunshine. On this Sunday afternoon, blitz coming. Mallett just throws. He had to get rid of it. 4th down, and you're down 21-9.
See,
probably go for it here, don't you?
I would think so. And what happened was the blitz came, Tony, and the receiver route conversion, confusion between him and the quarterback because there was so much pressure. See, he's expecting him to break it off shorter right there because it was a blitz, and Gibbons took it on upfield, and there was no connection.
Yeah, Mallett gave him a hand signal, but he didn't catch it.
Signals here now, yeah.
If he goes up top, Matthews is your biggest receiver right here. He's your jump ball guy.
Mallett steps up, and it'll be incomplete. He took a hit from Geno Atkins just as he was throwing it. You know, the Bengals are going to get a stop, but this Baltimore offensive line, they've given up 1 sack today and not a lot of hits on their quarterback. Well, a little bumping going on here. Mallett and Carlos Dunlap.
Yeah, you know, that's just one of those ones at the end. Look, great pass rushers are a lot like sprinters. You know, the best 100-meter guys in the world are the biggest trash talkers you've ever met in your life.
Really?
You would not believe when they settle in the blocks and the whooping that's going on up and down the lines. And great pass rushers, he just want to let Mallett know that he got his measure on the last play.
Jeremy Hill has been very effective when they hand the ball to him, which is only the 8th time the entire game. He's averaged after the 38-yard touchdown 10 yards a carry, but he was averaging 6 yards per carry before the big long touchdown run.
Yeah, so it didn't skew it that much. I like the way you pointed that out because a lot of times guys don't have a great game.
Right.
Get one big run and it skews what you've done. He was very consistent on his runs. The big run just increased it a little bit. I want to see if they want to just go ahead and do a little mashing right now, if at all possible. Now, Baltimore doesn't make it easy. But, you know, big guy in the middle, Brandon Williams, he's hard to move and hard to run the football against.
The Bengals are averaging over 7 yards per carry in this game. And this is something the guys in the pregame show talked about. You know, they're going to start running the football. This was their strength last year.
Look at that.
Last time you win a game without converting on a third down?
When was the last time we ever went to a production meeting, Tony Siragusa, and third downs weren't talked about as being important in a game?
I think before you're a head coach, you have to be able to say, we got to do better on third down. no matter what.
No matter what.
That's the answer to everything. How you feeling, coach? You got to do better on third down.
That's what you run into every job interview and lead with.
As the kicking game. Well, we got to do better on third down.
Well, a chance for that first third down conversion here, and McCarron is going to slide short. He took a hit from Darryl Smith, and McCarron saying, well, is that not a late hit? It didn't look like it was.
And Baltimore would say late slide. You know, we had a similar one. When I say similar, we had a situation earlier this year. Remember St. Louis, Minnesota?
Sure.
Was he sliding? Was he not sliding? It was a big, massive hit. There was a fine levied later. I think that's LaMarcus Joyner. Watch as he goes into a slide. He's already launching as he's going into a slide, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, he's a little too young to get that call.
Huber blasts his punt. And then blasted at the other end is Clay. Chris Lewis Harris, as there is a penalty flag all the way back about a yard beyond the line of scrimmage.
During the kick, holding number 44 receiving team. That penalty will be measured half the distance to the goal. First down, timeout.
Excellent play by Lewis Harris.
How about those shoes right there, huh?
A little bit of a fashion statement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Throwbacks.
Mallett lofts towards the sideline. Looked like defender and receiver got tangled up. Ray Kirkpatrick going to argue his case.
Number 27 defense, automatic. First down.
Got tangled up with Aiken.
So up here is where it's going to take place. Stop and go. And Kirkpatrick is saying, you know what he's saying? I had great position like basketball, and I took the charge. And the receiver ran through me and actually extended arms out to go over the top. But the call goes against Kirkpatrick. And he's had a bunch of penalties this year. By my count, that's at least the 12th penalty for him this season.
Nowhere to run. There's Carlos Dunlap. All right, we're down to 9 minutes to go here in Cincinnati, and you know the story. Bengals already have won the division, but they would love the first round bye. They lost Monday night in Denver. Bengals need to win and hope for a Denver loss to leapfrog the Broncos. By the way, the Broncos can be first, second, third, fifth, or sixth before the day is over, depending on a lot of moving parts.
And the Steelers are still ahead, and the Jets are still behind, correct?
And a huge interception thrown just moments ago by Ryan Mallett down at the Buffalo 8. And almost a 9th interception of the year for Reggie Nelson, which would be most in the NFL.
Wow, I'm really surprised that he dropped that one. That hit him square right in the chest.
I mean, perfect hands catch right in front. And he may have been thinking about taking it to the house before he took it in. Because he had his momentum going back in the other direction. He would have been offered to sprint towards the end zone.
All righty, it's a third down. And Mallett gets it away, and it's incomplete. And I misspoke a moment ago as Lewis Harris put the big hit on Mallett. It's Ryan Fitzpatrick who threw the interception a moment ago at the Buffalo 8.
Because Ryan Mallett's here with us.
Yes,
right?
he is.
Okay.
It'd be hard to throw it for another team.
Look at the backside there. Chris Lewis-Harris helping affect it because Brian Mallett felt the pressure and got rid of the ball, probably a count early, and that threw off the timing of the play. It's amazing to me, Cincinnati with this lead, still 0 for the day on third downs themselves, and Baltimore with a heck of a percentage on third down and not getting to the end zone more often.
Funny game.
It's a weird game.
Punted over near the Bengals sideline in good field position for the home team. Fountain Square do a little ice skating this weekend. Hey, look inside a television truck right here on Fox. Mark Titleman, belated happy birthday.
Happy birthday, T-Man.
Right, happy birthday.
Our leader.
That board with all the colors looks a little bit Star Trek-ish.
Star Wars-ish.
There's Jeremy Hill, and he'll cross midfield. There's Andy Dalton. 5 years as a Bengals starting quarterback. Look at those regular season numbers. 50 and 26 as a starter. But all they talk about, the 0-4 postseason numbers, and they're ugly. 1 touchdown, 6 interceptions. You know, you really go back and break down the numbers of the 4 playoff losses. Now, you know, there are a lot of avenues you can go here, and the Bengals are first to bring up that there's a lot of blame to go around. In all 4 of their first-round playoff losses the last 4 years, they have been within 1 score at halftime. Okay? So you're going to intermission, and you are very much in the game one way or the other. So that's where you start talking about what are you doing to adjust at halftime? What is the opposition doing to adjust at halftime? In the second half of the 4 straight playoff losses, the Bengals have been outscored 57-6. In all 4 playoff games, they've had a total of 24 offensive drives. They do not have a single touchdown, and they have turned it over 8 of the 24 drives.
See, that was going to be the next question for me. The turnovers. How many times have they said they spit it away?
But like we said, now, okay, there's blame to go around.
Right.
So the offense has completely stunk it up. Whatever adjustments you've made have not gone well. And then you get to the defense. In the 4 games of the second half, the defense has not forced a single turnover.
So complimentary football hasn't come into play for them.
Exactly right.
And that's the tough part. And these guys have addressed it. Tony, they've addressed it head on. And I'm going to let this play run. I'm going to come back to you with a, with a question comment because this is relevant to your career. You played. You get it.
First down carry by Hill to the Baltimore 30.
And my point is, Tony, I'm talking to guys in pregame, AFC North Championship and what have you. You get hats and the T-shirts for that, right?
Yep.
They told me that none of the guys are wearing them. No one's even put it on their head. In other words, we've been there, we've done that before. It's time to take the next step.
Well, the thing is, you have to go and as a player, understand, you got to finish. And Marvin, when he was our defense coordinator in Baltimore, we went to the Super Bowl. That was the biggest word he used to tell us. You got to finish. It just doesn't matter if you have a great first half. You got to come back in the second half and play even harder. And I'm sure he is going and talking about that every week in the regular season game, hoping that it goes and carries over to the postseason for this Bengal defense and offense.
And speaking of carryover, guys, watching them on this drive and seeing the running game and guys trying to move people, and Jeremy Hill pounding inside now. This is kind of what they wanted. They want to try and get more of that established, I think as they head towards either next week or the week after. Well, it's going to be important to them.
You need the run game in the playoffs, especially because if you're up by 3 points or 7 points, your defense is playing pretty well. You got to run that clock. You can't give opportunities to the other team, especially if you're playing guys like Tom Brady or There you go.
Well, Jeremy Hill's knocking on the door of a 100-yard rushing game, and the Bengals have run it well here today. Time. 21-9, Bengals in front, 5:10 to go. Trying to tie a ribbon around this one. It's 2nd and 7.
Kick it! Kick it!
Jeremy Hill bottled up at the line of scrimmage.
So last play, this one led to timeout. Look at Andre Smith. He was looking over at Tyler Croft, and you see him look back to A.J. McCarron like, my man, someone's wrong here. And now A.J. is counseling Tyler Croft. And here you go. A.J. McCarron letting him know what's happening moments ago, and then Croft comes over and says, my bad. A.J. says we're good to go. But Tony, small things become big things at playoff time.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, a timeout could cost you the game. You know, you got to start thinking about that right now, later on in the season. You know, next week is, you know, you make a little mistake, it could cost you a game.
Well, here's another
one.
Offense.
Way too much movement.
3rd down.
I mean, they had 8, 9 guys
moving
like
and changing
moving
around. That was the biggest game of musical chairs. Because, you know, I never really played with 300-pound people. And these guys were moving and changing and shuffling. And I think Marvin Lewis had had enough, and he wanted the timeout call.
How do you think Siragusa's classmates felt back when they were in the 8th, 9th grade?
Listen, if Tony
was only 290 back then. I wasn't 300.
All I got to say, if Tony played, there was a chair for Tony.
McCarron looking for some time. Still rolling, and he'll throw it away. So let's check in back in Los Angeles with Mike Hill.
Steelers and Jets fighting for that final spot in the AFC. Pittsburgh taking on Cleveland. Big Ben to Marcus Wheaton, the 8-yard score. It's 28-12 Steelers in the 4th there. Meanwhile, in Buffalo, Jets are losing. Dan Carpenter's 42-yarder gives them a 22-17 lead over the Jets. Jets lose, Steelers win. Pittsburgh is the 6th seed, and the Bills have the ball with under 2 to play.
Yeah, and all of that field goal by Buffalo was on the heels of a Ryan Fitzpatrick interception when the Jets were at the Buffalo 8-yard line. 52-yard try by Nugent. Boy, that ball's hammered by the former Buckeye of Ohio State. Grew up just up the road in Centerville, Ohio, where he played with A.J. Hawk.
This kick would have been good at 60, I think.
And this is cold weather, guys. That ball is going to feel heavier, more like a rock. He pounded it through, didn't he?
All right, wait a minute now.
You can tell true athletes when they get kicked, guys.
What do you say, Tony? True athletes
can do anything. Oh,
look at this. The Goose.
The old Mark Mosley.
Come on. Come on,
hey,
guys.
That's Lou the Toe Grozer right there, baby.
That's off the upright, Tony.
Well, hey, somebody asked me, can you hit the upright? Absolutely. Which one? I said, they said the right one. I gave them the right one.
You said which one, right?
It's all in the interpretation, man. Don't be, you guys ready to sell me out like I wanted to miss that.
Tony, did you when they asked if you hit the upright, you said which one?
Yeah.
Pick one.
Pick one. They pointed to the right. Boom.
Bang.
The electronic toe.
That's beautiful.
You know how kickers practice. They want to practice a hitting the upright this way. It's right down the middle all the time.
There you go.
That was pre-kick.
Aim small, miss small.
That's right.
Well, this Ravens season, they trail 24-9. And look, when this season began, everybody and his brother very much expected the Baltimore Ravens to be one of the teams that we were going to be talking a lot about on this final weekend as they were going to prepare to go into the playoffs again. You know, they blew that 14-point lead against New England in the playoffs last year, the 1-6 start. 20 players currently on injured reserve. Giants have 21, the only team with more. But they've closed relatively well. I mean, 3-3 in their last 6 with all the injuries. They swept the Steelers this year. The 12 games decided by 6 points or less. In, you know, each of their first 8 losses, they had the ball with a chance to tie or take the lead. We welcome those of you who have been watching the Eagles and the Giants wrapping up their really disappointing seasons. Philadelphia, of course, firing Chip Kelly. 35-30 winners over Tom Coughlin's New York Giants, and now much will be made of what is the future of Coach Coughlin moving forward in the Giants organization. He's had an unbelievable run and truly one of the class acts, gentlemen, great coaches in the history of football.
Heard reports that they're going to get together, ownership and Tom Coughlin, and have a big talk tomorrow about what the future is going to be. And I think if they want to make a change, they're going to allow Coach Coughlin to announce it on his own terms if he decides to do it that way. Now, if he wants to fight and they want to make a change, that's a whole other story. But they're going to want him to go out the right way if indeed that's what they want.
Well, there's still lots to be decided along the playoffs in both the NFC and the AFC. And for more, let's check in with Mike Hill in L.A.
We got America's Game of the Week coming up next. Most of you guys will see this one, a great one, NFC West matchup. Russell Wilson and the Seahawks coming off that loss. Still a very dangerous team against MVP candidate Carson Palmer and the Cars, who still have a shot at home field in the NFC. Tom, Charles, back to you.
Yeah, of course, they would need to win, and they would need Carolina to lose today. Carolina at home against Tampa Bay. Crossing pattern catch made. For those of you just joining us, the Bengals a 24-9 lead. They have run the ball for nearly 150 yards, averaging over 6 yards a carry today. Jeremy Hill, 4 yards shy of 100 on the day. The Bengals are already AFC North champions. They'll be headed to the playoffs for the 5th straight year, for the 6th time in the last 7 years. Cutting it to the inside and up into there is Matthews, and he's inside the 20 of first down. But the Bengals have lost in the first round of the playoffs 4 straight seasons. Doesn't look like Andy Dalton. We don't know for sure. He joined Tony Siragusa before the game, but he'll know a little bit more tomorrow about whether or not he would be ready should they have to play next weekend. They'd love to get the bye if Denver would lose later today to San Diego.
Look at this.
This is truly one of the legendary bars in all of America. It's owned by entrepreneurs Pat and Eddie Shepard, the Blind Lemon.
Hold it.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. Who is that?
Yeah, well, I actually lived part of my life in there.
Oh, man.
Seemingly every other night.
Did you have Janice's music on while you were in there?
We had it all going at one time or another, trust me. Inside the 5-yard line and run out of bounds is Javorius Allen. Bengals started slowly, then had 17 unanswered points. They scored touchdowns on 3 consecutive possessions, the last one in the first half, first 2 in the second.
Look, here's the deal, though. There's still 155 left. They score here, an onside kick it. You know, we still got a lot of play left. Right? The Bengals can't just fold up at this point and say, we've got it. It's not done yet.
Incomplete, and that is the flag, and Perfect cannot believe it. I don't know. In fact, he may not know.
He knows. He knows now.
He was very upset about that penalty in overtime. Felt like they're kind of looking out for it.
Number 55 defense, 5-yard penalty, half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
Okay, so here's Vontaze Burfict here in coverage. Small bunch formation. He's got his hands on Williams, and they stay there. They never come off of him as he's trying to run the route.
And by the way, fellas, the Buffalo Bills are going to beat the New York Jets.
And so Pittsburgh is going to go to the playoffs.
And that might mean for the Bengals is Juszczyk catches a touchdown, and now all of a sudden this game is indeed not over.
Juszczyk has attained career highs. He's going to be the fullback here. Just get out into the flat. All right, going to fake it to Allen. Juszczyk, no one covers him, and he walks in. He's got career highs in catches, yardage, touchdown catches. He's had a very fine year playing fullback for them.
Well, you're going to kick the extra point because you would be within 8. So you'd be a touchdown and a 2-point conversion away.
Exactly. But you're going to have to onside kick after this extra point if indeed it goes through the post.
Ravens still have 2 timeouts remaining. And when we've seen some of the wildest finishes we've ever seen in football this year. In fact, more fourth-quarter comebacks than any season since the Super Bowl era in the NFL this year. So an 8-point game, and the expected onside kick coming up.
So now Darren Simmons, the special teams coach for Cincinnati, going to ready his hands team. Jerry Rossberg, special teams coach for Baltimore. What type of onside kick is he going to come up with?
I like the special team coaches. They always count. Did you notice that? They're always pointing. 1, 2, 3. Look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
And Tony, you know why? Because they've had so many great strategies go awry because they don't have enough guys out there, or they have one too many.
Yeah, I used to try and stand in that pile just so they'd count to 12, and then they'd have to recount it again, and then recount it again.
And it's usually not a gentle goose get out of here. Right?
Not at all. Not at all.
Tony, would you mind stepping aside?
Yeah, the blood pressure of a special teams coach is off the charts.
They're like designated hitters. You only get so many chances.
Well, you saw the number, the percentage of successful onside kick, 14 times, 14% of the time. Tucker, by the way, in his career, has never had a successful onside kick. 0 for 6 in his career.
Be a heck of a time right now to go ahead and get his first one, because you know that fits the Ravens for how they finished the year this year, hasn't it?
And look at the way he sets his thing
up. Not giving up. Here we go.
Takes it one way, comes back the other way, and Pierman fields it cleanly. Now this game is still not over. The Ravens have 2 timeouts left.
So this is a big tester here for the Cincinnati offense. If you are the big guys for Cincinnati, because you figure they're going to want to run the football, look at him though with a little loop-de-loop. Look at that dexterity. But he gets no big hop there. He only gets the one big hop. Typically on a successful onside kick, you get a couple of big hoppers in there, which allow guys to get downfield and make a play on it. So can Cincinnati run the football here if they want to and run this time down? We'll see.
We know the New York Jets are officially out of the playoffs, and we know the Pittsburgh Steelers are in the playoffs. On first down, they'll hand it to Hill. And right back to the line of scrimmage. The Ravens will call a timeout. Let's send it back to Mike Hill in Los Angeles.
And here's why the Jets won't be going to the playoffs. Down by 5 against the Bills late in the 4th. Ryan Fitzpatrick throws the interception to A.J. Tarpley. Bills run out the clock. Steelers won in Cleveland. So Pittsburgh, as you said, the 6th seed in the AFC playoffs. Tom, Charles, back to you.
Boy, it will not be a pleasant Sunday night, and especially Monday morning in the Big Apple.
Yeah, but boy, let me tell you something. If you're in Buffalo, you know, like on Christmas Eve, everybody talks about, did they see Santa in the sky going by? If you don't see Rex Ryan tonight, you just didn't go out. Okay? Because Rex is going to be all over Buffalo tonight.
Oh, no question. No question. He got his Christmas present with this one.
I mean, are you kidding me? The Jets out.
Second down, Hill. And only a 1-yard gain, so another timeout. A total of 10 seconds have been burned on back-to-back runs, which basically brings up a 3rd down and 10. The Bengals, unbelievably, have not converted a 3rd down the entire day. But the question here is, Baltimore can't stop the clock again. So, would you love to throw the ball and get a 1st down to officially put it away? Who wouldn't? If you run it here, you're guaranteed of burning another 40 seconds off the clock before you punt the ball.
Right.
Again, let's send it back to L.A. and Mike Hill.
Patriots had a chance to wrap up the #1 seed in the AFC. That didn't happen in Miami. Jordan Cameron, the 2-yard score for Ryan Tannehill. Dolphins going to win at 20-10. So if the Broncos win, Denver is your top seed in the AFC. Tom, Charles, back to you.
Well, there's a lot of drama in that Denver game today.
Oh, is there ever? And Mike Hill, when Miami goes aqua on aqua, you just don't mess with them.
3rd down, and this is Giovanni Bernard. The Bengals 0 for 9 on 3rd down, yet they lead by 8. You start the play clock now. It's going to get it down to right about 50 seconds before they're going to be forced to punt.
And now it's all about protecting your punter. You don't get out of there. You don't even worry about getting out of there fast as a cover guy. You know, we used to do it when we talked about slam and cover, right? Now it's slam. Cover comes later because you just cannot afford to have it blocked.
Huber standing at his own 45-yard line, and they'll let the clock run all the way out before a delay of game. Our game produced by Mark Titleman, directed by Greg Scopatone. Our associate director is Alex Olson. Broadcast associate Jordan Wolf. Our technical producer all year long, Bob Muller. Technical director Dane Crawford, and our audio mixer from right up the road in Columbus is Zach Bayer. I'd like to thank our sideline producer Nick Gagliano up here in the booth. Our statistician Tom Barbary, and our spotter Scott Studley Snyder, also the pride of Upper Arlington, Ohio. Huber, end over end punt, and play a fair catch with 41 seconds left. How about it, Mike Hill? One more update.
Hey, Texas take care of their business against Jacksonville today. Kareem Jackson, the pick six right here, 27 yards on the return. They dominate over the Jaguars 30-6. So they are the AFC South champions and the 4th seed in the playoffs. Charles, back to you.
All righty, so really we know who's in the AFC playoffs. It's now a slam dunk. We know who's officially in. Steelers are in, Jets are out, Kansas City's in. The question is, where all the other teams of Kansas City, Cincinnati, Denver, and New England, where will they be seated? Incomplete on first half. 37 seconds remain, and Baltimore needs a touchdown and a successful two-point conversion to tie it.
And Ryan Mallett has one of the strongest arms in the NFL. If I'm Mark Trestman, where's Chris Gibbons, number 13? I say go, and Mallett, throw it as far as you can. He's their fastest receiver. I'm taking my shot there.
Mallett just hurls it down the middle. It's intercepted by Ray Malaluga. And he will pitch the football. That's not a smart move there.
No,
you just fall down and count your blessings.
But no opportunity on that one. I mean, here's Gibbons. I'm advocating just throwing it down here. Instead, he comes back to the other side. And it's all black jerseys.
Well, gentlemen, A.J. McCarron, a two-time national champion at the University of Alabama. For those of you joining us after watching the Cowboys today take on the Redskins. But A.J. McCarron in victory formation. He will perhaps go into a playoff start next week, depending if Cincinnati is playing. And Andy Dalton's not ready to go. He starts the final 3 games of the year. The Bengals go 2-1 in those games. But the question is, whether it's next week or the week after, will the elephant in the room finally walk out the door? Can the Bengals, who are going to the playoffs for a 5th straight year and the 6th time in the last 7 seasons, can they win a playoff game?
The only question that's being asked, only time will tell, but they're going to have to give him some help being able to run the football and tamp down some of that pressure that's going to come at him in terms of pass rush in the playoffs.
Well, Marvin Lewis, it's already chilly here today. Charles, can't thank you enough. What a year. Tony Siragusa, a pleasure and an honor to have worked with this entire crew. Thank all of you for watching us during the regular season. The State Farm Game Break shows coming up right now. Here's Kurt Menefee.